to have the bollocks.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with me on that?
Like, what are we doing here? Levy isn't going anywhere.
It's all down to timing, isn't it?
Good evening, everybody. Good morning, whatever part of the world you're tuning in from. Welcome to the Spurs Five. Thanks for being here. Smash a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know how it works by now. We have got a star-studded panel tonight. I shit you not. We've brought in the big guns because tonight, as one of our guests has already said to us backstage, it's the obituary of Tottenham Hotspur. So there's a lot of... there's a lot of...
Not quite. We're not.
Well, listen,
yet.
It's his words, right? He can explain it. It's the obituary of Tottenham Hotspur. There's plenty of liturgy. We even might get a private sermon from the local vicar, but we will see. We will see. We will see where it takes us. Okay, Jersey down below for your sports apparel. Don't forget any merch, any athletic attire that you require, especially with the new kits coming out very soon. Go to OK Jersey. The code is 5 FIVE. Get your 8% off. Make sure you do what you got to do. Lubo, before we bring in the guests tonight, how are you doing? Because you went to the game, right? And I did say to all of you, we're going to lose. You all thought, now we're going to get a draw, a bit of a new manager bounce. And I said, listen, we're losing this. But you were there, you know, very, very quickly before I bring in the guests. How are you feeling after that game?
I felt I thought we were better organised than under Tudor. I thought that was a positive. We'll talk about the game, but I was pleased for Kinski after what he went through in Madrid. To see him bounce back like that, I thought was excellent. Again, it was. I mean, wicked deflection. They hardly created that. They didn't create that many chances. Sunderland, I thought it was a poor game overall, and that goal sort of typified the way the season's going, isn't it? It was, you know, a goal that was given away, and ultimately a deflection that took it well away from Kinski, who had it covered, had the initial shot covered. But again, another shot from outside the area, guy unchallenged. It's a habit, isn't it? It's a habit that keeps going this season, and they've got to stop it. The team's in trouble now, but there's still time to get out of it. There's still time.
Well, we're going to bring in the guests to have their views as well. There's Lubo with his brief synopsis of the situation and the weekend game. I did forget to mention, Johnny is still away on his 6-month holiday. He'll be back at some point this year. I don't know when. He's gone to Japan and he's having a great time. Sean is on a plane flying back from somewhere, so he's not making tonight. He's traveling. So it's just Lubo and I, but we do have a star-studded panel. Let's bring them in. I wonder who the guests are that couldn't wait to come on the show tonight. There it is. Who would have thought? We've got Perchy, we've got Sava, we've got Chris, the referee, who's got plenty to talk about this weekend. And of course,
I've got my tinfoil hat on ready.
He's got his tinfoil hat on. And we've got Ferg, who is the man behind the obituary tonight. So we will leave that to him at some point. But very quickly, let's go around. Perchy, you right, mate? Another disastrous weekend. We're in the mud, bottom 3. Are we getting out of it? Nothing's changed, really, has he? No new manager bounce again.
Nothing's changed. The players are crap, and we're probably going to be having fun at Lincoln away next season. But apart from that, all things are good.
Yeah, sounds great. By the way, I think your mic might be low, or it's my headphones, one of the two. I'm not too sure. Ferg, You demanded to come on this evening because of the obituary that you want to read out to us. I mean, you must be delighted with the weekend, how it's played.
No, I drank the Kool-Aid. I had the hopium on full time. I was like, yep, we're gonna get a draw or a nick a win. And well, it was what it was, and we were really poor. Didn't deserve anything out of the game, and we capitulated as usual. So it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good at all.
No, it's absolutely horrendous. We're in the bottom three. Chris, you look like a character out of The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, well, I've got this on for all the conspiracy theories, right? I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. The refs against us. The media are against us. Dermot Gallagher's against us. The Lewis family are against us. We're against us. I'm here for it, mate. But yeah, I'm good. I was also there yesterday, thanks to Lubo, who gave me a spare ticket. I don't know if I should say thank you for that, actually. Maybe I shouldn't say thank you, but yeah, let's get into it. I can't wait. I'll take this off.
It's better on.
Thanks.
Yeah, sounds like he stitched you up. Leave it on. Leave it on. I think you should leave it on. Sava, I don't know what's worse, mate. Watching Tottenham play or having to be in the WhatsApp groups after the match. I mean, take your pick.
Mate, I'm not in a single WhatsApp group. I don't know how you lot do it. I've got no time for it. I can't wait. In one way, there's no VAR next year, so I'm already taking positives. Looking forward to next year. No VAR. Can't have any moaning from people like Lubo that it's the refs why we're so bad. Yeah, championship, here we come. And the host has gone missing. Brilliant.
Lubo's in charge. This could be funny.
That's
Lubo.
great. Still has a little bit of internet problems, and so they're coming in and they're ripping up the floor in his street and they're putting in new cabling sometime in the next 3 years, I think. He said because everything's a bit manana out there. So listen, Perchy, let's tell us what you thought of yesterday's game.
I can do it the long version or the short version. The short version.
Let's start with the selection. Let's start with what you thought of De Zerbi's selection.
Weird. I think the beautiful word is weird for this. I mean, you've got with the selection, you look and go back to basics. Go simple, right? 4-2-3-1. Put your best players in the best positions, and it was like throwing three strikers on who can't score a goal in the bar. Like they can't score anything, those three. And then doesn't put in Simmons, doesn't put in Paulinho. Weird. Just weird. It was just Bergvall had an absolute stinker. Gray was awful. It didn't work at all. But I think the irritation bit for me was he tried something, but at half-time you're still in the game at 0-0, and you think, surely, half-time, rip it up. This whole thing hasn't worked. Take Bergvall off, put Simmons on, take off Gray and put in Paulinho in midfield, and just tighten it back up. Maybe bring on Tell if you have to or whatever. Like, make one or two changes there. He doesn't. And then doesn't bring on Xavi Simmons until the 85th minute, which was just made no sense whatsoever. And no one thought after we scored that goal that we were ever getting back in that game. We didn't look like we were ever getting back in that game. Now, you always see teams in these relegation battles, and we have to talk about Tottenham as a team in a relegation battle because we are the proverbial Burnleys in these relegation battles now. But you see these football teams go, do you know what? It doesn't matter. Loft it long. We've just got to pepper the goalkeeper and try and get something. We're passing around with 5 minutes to go. Going, what are you doing? Like, forget about all that crap. We need a goal right now. And I thought the manager got it horribly wrong. And we're not in this period of trying stuff. I hear people go, yeah, but he's trying stuff. No. win games of football, because otherwise we're in the championship. And that's probably the best way I can describe it, really, for me.
Guys, sorry that I fell out there.
We're just starting with the team selection.
Go.
Spurs on
Yeah, I was just gonna.
Your feelings?
Yeah, I thought the front three were like they were having a contest for who could be the worst. Solanke non-existent, Muani couple little bursts of pace trying to get the line, just got out muscled as usual. I thought Richarlison was spectacularly bad at times in the game. He barely passed the ball to another teammate in the first half. His 2 efforts that he had were hit so gently that it wasn't going to worry an under 5s keeper, never mind Roos, who's a good goalkeeper. And then him and Gallagher for the goal, pathetic. They didn't chase back. Richie went to ground way too early, let his man go. Gallagher made a half-hearted attempt to try and shut him down. And then obviously it took a big deflection. I don't give anyone credit for anything in that game. The only one I'll give any sort of credit to is Kinski, because I thought he made it one really good save from Bobby. I did think Bobby was lucky not to be sent off, to be honest. I thought he did a number of yellow card challenges, but really we didn't deserve anything out of the game. And our goose is looking more and more cooked, to be honest.
The goose is cooked.
Chris?
Sorry, I forgot I put myself on mute. I agree with what Perchy said, really. Like some of the... Because his first game, so I'm reluctant to be too harsh on him. But you would hope he's done his research and he would know already the players that I could say the players he can trust and the players he can't trust. Maybe it's just degrees of how badly you can't trust these players. But I was really surprised not to see Palhinha in the lineup away at Sunderland when we need a bit of experience, a bit of strength in midfield. So, and I was surprised not to see Simmons. I have concerns over Simmons, but nonetheless, he's clearly our most creative player. So if you're not going to play him, we're at the point now where I don't think we can set up for keeping it tight and hoping we get a point, right? I think we're kind of past that now. So we need people on the pitch who are going to give us the best chance of creating something and scoring. And that's got to be Simmons, whatever you think of him. He's definitely the best player we've got available. So the lineup gave me concerns. The game itself, first half we were all right. It was 50-50 really. I thought we were okay. We didn't really create anything meaningful, although Solanke missed a good chance at the end. Second half was just a disaster. We didn't show up. We didn't do anything. We're outfought. But it's nothing new. There's nothing. I mean, it's just what we've seen, isn't it? We've seen this now for quite a few months, really. If not in the longer term, a couple of years, but certainly solidly for the last since New Year. And I don't see anything at all from us that gives me any cause for optimism to think that we can get a win or 2 wins that we probably need at least to stay up. So pretty depressing, really. But even more depressing when it's a 16-hour day and a 600-mile round trip. But it is what it is.
Sav? Selection, Deserby selection. I think I know what you're going to say.
Absolutely atrocious. Stella and I talked about it on my show before the game, and we said this is exactly the type of thing we did before the Forest game, where we're in must-win game territory and not playing the players that can help you must-win games. I don't get it. I didn't understand it. Listen, I like Deserby. I've been a big admirer of Deserby for years. I've got no problem with him at the club, but yesterday was on him. It was absolutely atrocious. Look, everyone knows I don't rate the players massively. I'm happy for all of the squad to go, all of them. There's bar no one. I'm happy. Kudus and Maddison. Other than that, I'm happy for all of them to go. I think they're all overrated. I think the young players are massively overrated. The senior pros are massively overrated. And look, for me, I think if you are going into a game where you've now got 21, 22 senior pros available, right? 21, 22 senior pros. This isn't like a month back where we had 11 to 12 to pick from and we had to go with what we had. You've got one winger in the club fit, Tell, on the bench. You got one playmaker in the club fit, Simmons on the bench. You got one defensive midfielder in the club on the bench. I didn't understand it. I didn't get it. I have no idea who on earth thought that a Gallagher, Bergvall, Gray trio would work. I do not understand what he was trying to do. I don't understand what skill set those three between them have that we thought was going to open teams up. And unfortunately, we've got the worst forward line of all the teams down at the bottom. We've got the worst set of forwards. Yeah. When you look at the goals statistically, when you compare West Ham's forwards, Spurs forwards, and we are, even Leeds' three forwards have got more goals than our forwards. So I'm not surprised we lost after seeing the lineup. I agree with Perchy on the front that get it wrong. That's cool. Get it wrong. But at half time, make the changes, man. Make the changes. If that had been Tudor, if that had been Frank Orange, we would have all gone in and said, this manager, what is he doing? Why is he? And for me, I'll just say it like this. I think we've got the worst midfield of all of these clubs in a relegation battle. We've got the worst forward line. We've got the worst keeper. And I think, I'll be honest, I think our defence is right up there as being one of the worst back fours I've seen at Spurs. So I'm not surprised we lost. I thought I don't agree with people saying we had more control. I thought we were disgusting throughout the game. Just we're not even in trouble anymore. I think we're down. I think we're gone. Sorry to be the purveyor of doom, as someone called me in the chat, but this is now 14 without a win, guys. We're a team in a relegation battle. In a relegation battle, you need people that can fight and tackle. And the player in the Premier League with the most successful tackles? Anybody? Answer on a question on a postcard? Paulinho. Where's he sitting? On our bench. Who's created the most chances this year at Tottenham Hotspur? Xavi, who's sitting on our bench. I've no idea what's going on. We deserve relegation at this stage. I know that sounds harsh. Call me whatever you want. Abuse me however you want. We deserve it at this stage. We deserve it.
Still, do you reckon, having seen the lineup, how it performed yesterday? I mean, just a small snapshot of Simmons when he came on, started off the move, played it on, nice touch back. Was it Mawani who laid it back and Porro fired the shot that was tipped over? Do you think it was? Do you think he will now look at that and have a much better idea of what players are needed for what positions, in what positions for Saturday's game with Brighton? Because that is a complete must-win now. I mean, they cannot fail to win that.
No,
you don't think
I hear this every week. I hear every single week. I hear this. I literally hear the same thing every single week. It's a must-win. It's a must-win. Crystal Palace was a must-win. Forest was a must-win.
I'm talking about.
It's just like, let's just kick the can down the road. That must-win. But you, I'm answering your question, right? I can answer it my way. I can answer it your way. Right? For me, every week I hear this: must-win, must-win, must-win. This manager, I like. I'm really happy De Zerbi's here if he's going to be here for 5 years and if they're going to back him. A lot of ifs, right? A lot of ifs. I predicted we would lose on Thursday. I didn't know the team lineup. I said we'd lose because I'm looking at all the teams around us, and you're seeing it right now at Old Trafford with Leeds United. They might not win tonight, but what they're doing tonight is they are showing fight. They're all fighting. When adversity hits them, they keep going. We don't. And I just knew as soon as the shit hits the fan against Sunderland, regardless of who he picks, we're going to lose. What we've done is he's come in and fans got really excited. Oh, look at the training videos. Proper coach. What? You don't win games in training? What is this? Yeah. And then fans say, oh, but Stell thinks he's a professional coach, saying that Paulinho and Simmons have been dropped. Stell doesn't get paid millions of pounds. De Zerbi does. Hey, I don't care what players do in training. How's about you watch some videos of the players in a match? Because then you'd say, right, I've got to start Paulinho and I've got to start Simmons. Because the alternative doesn't work. If I put Pape Sarr in the 6, it doesn't work. If I put Gallagher in the 6, it doesn't work because he's not a 6. If I put Bergvall in the 10. He's never done anything in the 10. So if you just watch some games, just watch some videos, you'd know that those two have to start. So before the game, when De Zerbi dropped them two, that confirmed to me that we were going to lose. 3-2.
No,
Leeds
Leeds are
Leeds.
2-1. We're currently 6
We're
points behind
in
Leeds.
deep trouble now.
Right.
They nearly got another one as well.
The only thing I'll say is Leeds have got a bad habit of having bad second halves. We saw it against West Ham in the FA Cup. Let's see how that ends. But the point
You know
is,
they've got
Percy,
Saturday morning still. You know they've got Saturday morning.
no.
Bottom of the team, Wolves.
They've got Wolves at home Saturday morning. If they
At
win
the
that,
road.
they'll be
It's 3
9
o'clock,
points
innit?
clear of Spurs.
Listen,
Yeah, 3 o'clock.
Do you know what? Just to wrap up answering Lubo's question, Lubo, I don't think whatever he does is going to help us right now. And I rate him. I'm not calling him out. I'm calling him out for the stupid team selection because he should have watched previous games and not just looked at video of training sessions. But for me, we've got no fight, Lubo. There's nothing there, man. You look at us. We look dejected. We look sorry for ourselves. We look uninspired. And I watched Forest come back against Villa. I watched Forest dismantle us. I watched West Ham come back against Leeds and nearly beat Leeds in the FA Cup. I watched West Ham destroy Wolves. I watched Crystal Palace come back against Newcastle. They're all fighting, Lubo. All of them. I don't think De Zerbi's got enough time to instill fight. Tactics, formations, it's not going to change nothing. There's no fight in the team for me. So he can look at whatever he wants. Brighton are going to beat us. We are not going to beat Brighton. I'm so confident we're not going to beat them because I think our players, Lubo, they've just lost all hope within themselves. You know?
You don't think that he will have an effect on the mentality of the players? The way he is as a manager? I mean,
someone said to me that in all the years that a team has changed managers in a relegation fight, 6 of them have gone down and 2 of them have stayed up. And the 2 that stayed up changed the manager with more than 10 games to go. We are in a relegation fight and we've changed manager with 7 games to go. It's unheard of for a team to stay up when that happens. So I don't doubt De Zerbi. I just don't think he's got enough time. It's not his fault. We should have hiring Tudor when we did was the biggest mistake. Those games would have been. I think by now De Zerbi would have got our team maybe a little something out of it, but it's too late.
They waited too long with Frank.
I just think it's
they waited too long with Frank as well, and they the most unforgivable thing of all is not even the manager situation; it's the January window. The January window is just like a level of incompetence that is beyond belief. It was clear to everyone we had loads of injuries. We needed 2 experienced, good heads to come in to help lift the squad. Look what West Ham did. They went out, got a few players and 3 players in, made a huge difference. We just sat on our hands. And that's the problem. You know, there's just been a catalogue of catastrophic decisions over the past 5-6 years, and it's all coming home to roost.
well, it is. Listen, it's the recruitment's been on the way down for 9 years, hasn't it? So sooner or later, you know, the shit hits the fan, and you know you run out of lives. And Levy was a cat with 9 lives, and he got out before the shit that he caused basically has happened. And you know, as I say, we've kept saying, and people say, oh no, you know, it's all about Levy. You know, you're blinded, but no, this is what has happened now. You know, you can't have a wage cap, not go for certain players, not pay the right money for players, not pay the right wages for players, and sooner or later, you know, we relied on Kane and Son for how long? You know, after Poch's team broke up, Dembele went, Wanyama had gone, and you know, one after another, they've all gone. Kane and Son were the last 2. They basically propped it up. Now without them, we're in serious trouble.
But Lubo, I'll kind of push back on that though, because I get the point. I get that whole wage cap thing if we want to try and win titles. We don't need to be pushing wage caps to better what we are right now. I'm just watching Noah Okafor.
Like over 20 years. I'm going back. I'm not talking about
Yeah,
today.
yeah, but I'm just talking about in general, right? I get the premise and what you're saying, but I'm watching Noah Okafor right now for Leeds. It's better than any attacker we've got at all in our football club. Like, there's no way that Tottenham couldn't attract a Noah Okafor when Leeds could. Like, I think I get the premise if we're talking about trying to win titles. Right now, our issue has been our dysfunctional recruitment. We've become so arrogant as a football club, fan base, and the football club in itself, that we're arrogant enough to say in the summer, we'll be fine. We're not going to replace some. We'll be fine. And then equally as arrogant to say, we don't need to go and buy loads of players in the January because we'll be fine. We've almost got the situation we're in that right now is we've almost deserve it, not in some sort of horrible way, but we deserve it because look at West Ham, for example. West Ham went, do you know what we need? We need goals right now. They brought in Tati Castellanos. What did we do in the January? We brought in a Brazilian player in Sousa and Conor Gallagher, who doesn't score goals. He's not a goal scorer.
And we sold the top goal scorer from the season before and didn't bother to replace him. Like, even if he's not a good player, why would you sell someone when you can't score? And our other players injured. Yeah. Madness.
Yeah.
Mate, West Ham just bought attacking players to give themselves a chance of staying up.
Yeah.
And they're going to stay up. Man City bought Guehi because they had a centre-back issue, and they bought Semenyo because they had an attacking issue. They've got themselves a trophy and right back in the title race. Man City and West Ham looked at January and said, what do we need so we can save our season to win the league or stay up? And they did it. What we did was the worst thing this club has ever done in all the years I've supported Tottenham. I didn't agree with Savra about hiring Frank and the whole Ange thing, but the thing I did agree with Savra is sack him or back him. We did neither. We kept him and we didn't back him, and we basically threw Frank under a bus in January. That's what we did. And I totally agree with Savra when he said that. Sack him or back him, and we did nothing. We did absolutely nothing.
Do you know the thing is, Stel, what makes me laugh, right, is everyone gets so personal about which the manager is. My issue wasn't whether it was Frank being backed in January. My issue was back in Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. My issue was whether it was Frank staying or the new manager coming in. This squad needed reinforcements in January, and they didn't do it. Right? That was my issue with it. As I said, sack Frank, don't sack Frank. Sack Tudor, don't sack Tudor. Sack Ange, don't. But if you don't give your team a fighting chance, then when I say we kind of deserve to go down, that's why. Because we, not fans, by the way, we, as in Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, were arrogant, ignorant, negligent, whatever you want to say. In January, we literally sat there and watched this team decimated, right? Decimated with injury after injury after injury. No wingers available, right? We had hardly any midfielders available, right? And what did they do? They did nothing. They did nothing. And if they go down, they deserve it. Not us as fans. They deserve it. They deserve what's about to happen to this football club because it was negligent, right? They had all summer and they did fuck all. They did nothing in the summer and everyone wet their pants about it. They did nothing in the summer to build a squad. Then they did nothing in January, and that's why we are where we are now.
But it's the sort of you're right in that sense. But when you got the people like Johan Lang coming out in the February going, now there's no one else we could have got. Really, you're telling me that there is no one in world football right now that you could bring in to help sort whatever issues we have? I don't care. We need goals. We need wide players, and your response was that. And I think just to sort of touch on that. The whole sacking Thomas Frank thing. I can't remember who it was, but I remember having the conversation with someone. They said, I can guarantee you he will be sacked in the first or second week of February. Lo and behold, he gets sacked in February. It just...
Everyone knew they were going to do that, right?
We all knew it was going to happen.
Everyone knew they were going to do that. Everyone knew they would get to the end of the transfer window then sack Frank, and then you were left with whoever the manager that came in, you were left with an injury hit squad. And I said on my show earlier today, right? What I don't get is everyone is so worried about who's right about the player they said, the manager they said, rather than actually remembering we're all Tottenham Hotspur fans, right? This is what makes me laugh about it. I can see it in the chat. Everyone's like, you liked him, he liked him, she liked him. None of that matters. What matters is these owners didn't do what they needed to bolster this squad. They had a glimpse into the future. This time last year, when we finished 17th, they had a glimpse into the future of, hey, we've got a lot of injuries. We finished 17th. So what did they do in the summer? Did they do anything to address that squad? They did nothing to address that squad. They replaced 3 injured footballers. Right? We deserve this. We deserve this.
Further to your point, Sava, they had history repeating itself. We had a massive injury crisis in January last year. We ran out of the season. Our season curtailed hugely. We managed to win the Europa League, but our Premier League form absolutely tanked. We had the same sort of level of injury crisis this season. We had no forwards. We had no passing midfielders. They knew that for months. They knew that in December. They knew that all that time. And what did they do? They sat on their hands. Now, if you're going to sack a manager, you've got to give the new guy a chance to come in where he can actually add a couple of players he wants in the January window. If he'd have gone after the West Ham game, or if he'd have gone after the Forest battering we got at the City ground, then that would have given the new guy a chance to come in and get a few players. Instead, they waited, as you said, they waited out the complete of the January window. We got that obnoxious, languor, smug interview telling it was a great thing that we didn't bring anyone in. And now they haven't learned lessons. They brought in a manager who'd never managed in England, which is a disaster for a relegation battle. And now they've rolled the dice again, but they've rolled it too late. I mean, I'm not going to say I think you're right. He did get it wrong at the weekend, but it's not easy when you've just walked into a job. But they should have thought of that months ago, not now.
But by the way, I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat saying I'm blaming the fans. I've not once mentioned the fans. When I say we deserve this, I'm not sure if people are understanding. We, Tottenham Hotspur, I've not once said the fans deserve it. We deserve it. We deserve it as a club because we've acted so badly for year on year. We've got a 32% win rate for 3 years. That is relegation form for 3 years. We deserve this. We do. And I'm sorry.
I blame the fans. Like that. I blame the fans.
Sure. You can. Sure.
You come for me. I blame the fans.
I think for me, everything screamed of arrogance. Like, we're Tottenham, we're not going to go down. We became entitled, arrogant. And even the appointment of Igor Tudor, I think Ferg touched on it. Even the appointment of bringing in, it was almost, it doesn't matter. We're not going to go down, so we'll just bring this fella in. It doesn't really matter at Tottenham. We'll be okay. And now we're in this position. And we're looking around and going, everyone's winning. By the way, if it stays like this at Old Trafford, every team, bar Tottenham, in the relegation battle got points over the weekend. Yeah. People need to start realizing this is happening now because everyone else is doing that last minute scrambling for results and getting results and fighting. And we go to games and it's another game. It's another game that we go to where we go, we're not in it. We never looked in it against Sunderland. Not once.
Sorry, Perchy, I must tell you something. I didn't think Sunderland were that good.
They weren't, but we weren't in the game. That kind of said it all, didn't it?
Perchy, they had 2 shots on target the whole game. We had 7.
But they did look the more likely team to score when they broke on us.
They look, that's exactly what Ferg said. They look.
You watch a different game to the rest of them.
I
remember 7 good chances.
They weren't very good. They weren't very good. But we weren't good at all.
7 saves. We weren't particularly good.
Can you name me the 7 chances?
Hang on 1 second. But to say we weren't in the game, I think he's wrong.
No, what he means is we were never. It never looked like we were going to score or take the game to them. Lubo, at no point did we look like we were in the ascendancy.
Let me ask you a question. Those 2 chances that Richarlison had where he back passed the ball to the keeper, Put Harry Kane or Son there. The ball's in the back of the net.
We don't have Harry Kane or Son. Newsflash, we
I'm
don't.
just
This is
saying
what we've got.
Virtually, those were two good chances, but because we haven't got the
Right.
strikers,
But you can have good chances, but if you've got crap football players in your club,
Oh.
that it doesn't matter. This is the difference, right? Like, when I say that we didn't look, I never watched that. I watched that game. I never watched that game and went, Spurs are going to score here. The momentum's on them. We did, those were the only those two Richarlison chances were the only ones where went, yeah, we got to score those, and we didn't. But we didn't look. As I said, even with 5 minutes to go, we had 11 minutes of injury time. That was the moment where you think the manager's got to go kitchen sink. We lump it in there. Everyone push up. We've got to get a result. We're passing it around the back four. I'm sitting there going, what are you doing? Like, there's no urgency at this football club. No urgency.
the only chance we had was Porro's cross. That was it. That the keeper tipped over. That was it.
I'm so, Porro for me. Don't get me started. I think he's absolutely woeful.
No, I'm just saying the only chance we had in those 11 minutes was that. Apart from that, that's the problem. Everyone around me was saying the big problem we've got is scoring goals. Some of them weren't particularly
and creating. I don't think we created any of note. Did we create anything of note?
No.
I thought there was a nice move that in the first half that resulted with Richarlison's pass literally stroking it for the keeper. I thought that was a nice move. We broke quickly. We played the ball out.
Porro played a lovely ball through to Richarlison for the second effort, and he hit it like had pillows on his feet, really gently at the keeper. And I thought
there was a lovely ball over the top that Udogie took on his chest and got taken out big time.
I thought that was a foul.
Rob Jones was Stevie Wonder at that moment in time and didn't.
No, here we go.
Sure, but you've named 3 incidences throughout 90 minutes. I'll be honest, at no point in that game did I think we were on top. We were in the ascendancy. Listen, it's funny. When we talk about Spurs, everyone makes it out like I've said Sunderland were amazing. Sunderland weren't that great. But you know what Sunderland were? They were hardworking. They were dogged. They had square pegs in square holes, right? They did the job of a team like Sunderland should. I'm watching Leeds right now, hard-working, dogged. Guess what? Everyone in the Sunderland team is in their right in the Leeds team is in their right position. I watched Spurs yesterday, and I thought, other than a couple of counter-attacks where Richarlison messed up, I didn't think we were in the game at all. I thought we were dreadful. I don't know what people are watching. If they, like you said, 7 shots on target. Can anyone... But what were they?
One Solanke header, 2 Richarlisons.
So can I just ask though, right? Are we claiming these balls that P roll into the goalkeeper's arms? Are we claiming these as shots on target? The ones that P roll?
Well, that's what the stats would say they are.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's the point, isn't it?
And that's my problem, Ferg, with when Lugo says things like, we had 7 shots on target. Yeah, but 4 or 5 of them are like P rollers from 20 yards that just the goalkeeper picked up. Like,
I never thought we were going to score in that game. I thought we could play for 5 years and we wouldn't have scored in that match.
Agreed. I thought we were awful. I thought it was as bad as Tudor and as bad as Frank. I thought it was awful.
Kinski made an outstanding save from Brobby, or it would have been 2. Maybe they only had 2 shots, but they were 2 decent shots compared to ours. Well, one of them was lucky that it took the deflection, but it went in. So,
can I ask a question? Right, if you didn't know who the manager was on the day, and someone said to you, "Watch this game," and then tell me, is it De Zerbi, Tudor, or Frank managing the game? Could you honestly tell me who it would be as manager? Because I couldn't.
No.
We've seen the same performance for, probably since October now, like over and over and over again.
It's been a disaster, isn't it? It's literally. I actually have to pinch myself that I'm just watching a team. We got 5 points from 14 games. I mean, I can't ever remember a run like that. I mean, the last run, and I'm not that old, not old enough to remember, thank God. But the last run, the only time that we went more games than this without winning was 1934-35, and that was 16 games. So if we don't beat Brighton and Wolves, we've equalled. We're officially the joint worst team.
At least we set a record for something this season. Just not a good one.
I think.
Percy, I just want to show everyone something. Every week there's a new record, a new stat that we break. Like literally every week, I see things in the WhatsApp group, and I think, oh, that's a new one. Right? These are the 2 new ones for this week. Okay, so you've got Sunderland have won a Premier League game against Tottenham for the first time in 16 years. Right? That's the new stat we've broken. And then there's this one. We're the first team in history to have 0 manager bounce 3 times in the same season. This is.
Well, I don't agree with that, still, because Frank got 14 from the first 7. So you can't say that Spurs didn't start well under Frank.
Lubo, he lost his first competitive game, which was the Super Cup final. That's what they're referring to.
Oh, forget
the first competitive game.
Penalties against the European champions. You can hardly call that.
Lubo, you're not arguing with me. I don't make the facts. I'm just sharing with you.
That's nonsense. Taking one game as a bounce is ridiculous. Sorry,
I think bigger picture. Surely we got to be looking at the bigger picture here, though. Maybe we need to start agreeing that these players aren't very good football players, and some of them are hyped to the moon and back. Maybe we need to start reading it like, does it really matter what manager is in? Some of these players aren't very good, and some of them are put on the pedestals that some people need to start putting them off on.
I think the issue is that before we can move forward as a club, we've got to sort out the people in director positions at the club so they actually know what they're doing. We've got to get rid of, genuinely, we've had some pretty bad directors of football, but Langer has to be by far the worst. He makes Steve Hitchin look like, super competent Einstein of a director of football. He is absolutely diabolical. And Vinay, what have the pair of them done to the club in a year? We've got demonstrably far worse than we've been in 40 years.
Oh, it's horrific, but
it's not 1 year, Ferg, is it?
No, but I'm saying this 1 year has accelerated beyond what
it was coming though. The last 3 years
it's been coming.
It's been like this for 3, 4, 5 years. The problem is that in that time we have little spells. So we had the 10 games at the beginning of the Ange era, right? We had a good spell in the Conte era. But in general, when you actually look at the last 4, 5, 6 years of data, we've been dreadful, right? And as I said, we can stick our heads in the mud as much as we want. These players get hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped and hyped. I don't know when, Ferg, we're going to turn around and actually say, look at all the arguing we have. Frank versus Ange versus Tudor versus De Zerbi versus Conte. I don't know how we're not realising by now.
My point, Slav, it isn't about the players. My point here is about if we don't get up here, the top of the club right, everything else that comes down is still going to be a mess.
That's right.
Yeah, we got to sort the director of football out, and we got to sort out the CEO so that everything underneath him is solid and unified, not a mess like it is.
Ferg, the owners are the problem.
Yeah, they are. 100%. The owners have to go. But getting them out is the most difficult thing in football.
But you can't. That's the thing is, I think what Ferg's making a good point in the sense of you've got to fix the hierarchy. You can't just get rid of. The club's got to carry on moving, right? But at what position do we go? We've got to fix up director of football, manager, the players. Like this summer, if we get relegated, is going to be one of the most insane transfer windows this football club will have ever experienced. You're going to lose 15 to 16 players. Then you've got to go and replace those 15 with 16 players with lesser quality, but with players of the quality in the championship.
And you need a big squad because they've got 46 games to play.
Yeah. Painful rebuild. That's the painful rebuild.
But the problem is I say this all the time when everyone talks about, I hear this, if we go down, we're Tottenham, we'll be fine. Based on what? We have no understanding what the championship is like. None of us do. We've never experienced it at this level.
We had players, Archie, we had players in 77 in the second division, like Hoddle and Perriman. We got nobody like them.
Yeah, but football was different back in 77.
Hang on. And we finished third on goal difference we only got promoted on goal difference that year.
But are you guys going to trust Langer and Vinay to be the
No.
ones to lead us out of that division? Because
Not
I
a hope.
don't.
Not a hope.
They'll be Ferg, they'll be gone.
They have to.
They'll be gone.
They have to go.
Yeah, but now, okay, fine. Let's just say
Who's hiring the people to replace them?
That's what I
Well,
mean.
that's the problem.
So if these people go,
You know what I mean?
The same people that are going to have to financially fix up their own wealth portfolio that's going to take a hammering.
But that doesn't mean that they suddenly know what good looks like. Like, if we're talking good versus great versus bad, we're now saying if we go, listen, by the way, I think we're down. As it stands, I think it's going to be more shocking to stay up than it would be to go down. Because I think we're that bad, right? But if we go down, we're then saying that, let's say, right, so it'll be Vivian Lewis that sacks Vinay, right? And Lang, right? So let's say Vivian and Nick Boucher and all them, okay. We're now saying that Vivian Lewis and Nick Boucher are the ones that are going to go, right, this is the right director of football and CEO to now run this club when they've not got it right for 25 years. I just don't believe that's going to happen. I think we'll go again.
But Sam, this is the point. But Sam, hang on. This is the point I'm trying to make, though. Not only have they got to do that, they've got to get in a CEO. They've got to get in a director of football immediately. This isn't, we've got 3-6 months to do it. No. You've got to get these two people, which aren't roles which are very easily obtainable very quickly, immediately, to then sell the football players that want to leave if you get relegated, the Romeros, the Van de Vens, the Poros, Vicario, etc., and then go and sign 15 to 16 players in the Championship that have the capabilities in the Championship to get us back promoted. And the darkest reality... Leicester's the example, right? Leicester
Why do they have to do that? Why do they?
They got docked points though because of the
there's a
break in the FFP.
Huh?
But they'd still be
got
down there in
docked
the
points.
bottom
It
five.
would be, regardless of their point, they would still be in that conversation down there.
But they've been hammered because of the finances. They've not been able to spend money to.
Yeah, but their
players,
finances are
dodgy,
the big question. They've got they've got the top 5 highest earners in the Championship. Now Tottenham are going to be in that situation, but on steroids. I mean, Harry Winks at the moment is on 90 grand a week at Leicester.
Yeah.
Tottenham's average football players are on 90 grand a week at the moment. Like, forget about all the top earners.
Yeah, but they've got relegation drops in a number of.
Doesn't matter. Even if they've got 50% cuts, players like Romero,
he's not going to stay. Come on.
grand a week.
I'll tell you another issue we're going to have: the World Cup. Us getting players out who go far in the World Cup. It's going to be difficult because they're going to be too busy playing for their country, and we won't be able to sell them till the World Cup's done. It's another issue.
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing on this, right?
Go on.
First of all, if we go down, there's nothing any of us can do about it, right? If we go down, it's because, number one, the owners have mismanaged the football club. Number two, the fans have allowed them to mismanage it because we don't want to protest, boycott, or demonstrate. We're not interested anymore. And finally, we're going to go down because we've had awful transfer windows, which you can link back to the owners to some degree, right? So if we go down, none of us can stop it. If we go down, it's because we deserve to go down. So everything you're describing is out of our control anyway. And if we do go down, the way I look at it is this: it will be so painful and so distressing, especially for the board members and the owners, because it's their asset. It's their asset that's going to take the financial hit, not our asset. We're emotionally attached. We're not financially attached. They're financially attached. And they're only about the money. So it's going to hurt them a lot more. We will feel pain, but they will feel more. And in the end, they're going to have a decision to make. Either they fix it once and for all, or kiss goodbye to the 25 years of hard work you put in.
They don't know how to fix it.
Guys, just hear me out. If they don't figure it out, if they don't bring in the right people, listen, for me, they've hired the right people. They hired Poch. They hired Conte. Even Mourinho, I thought, was a good hire. Redknapp was a good hire. They've hired people that are good. The problem they've had is they've never listened to them, and they've never allowed them to lead the pathway forward. What's going to have to happen is they're going to have to listen to De Zerbi and say, do you know what? You've got to lead us out of this because we've fucked it.
But De Zerbi's never been there.
Yeah.
Hang on,
But he can build a project. No, but he can build a project, Sava. That's what I'm
You're
saying.
missing the layer that's needed. Everyone you mentioned there is a manager. It's not the manager that's needed at this club to fix things. It's the director of football, somebody to come in and run the club.
But what I said, Sava, but what I said was, we listen to the director of football, not the manager. We're going to have to start listening to... Man United listen to Klopp. They listen to Fergie. We've got to start listening to our managers because they're proper football people. But at some point, the club's going to have to make a decision.
Not how it's run. The problem is still. The
Perchy,
problem is
that's the problem. That's the problem. That's why we're in this.
Hang on. But this is the disconnect in what we're just saying. That's not how it works though in football now. Whether it's right or wrong is not the point.
That's why we're in this mess.
No. But no, hang on. Whoa. Other football clubs aren't run that. Arsenal aren't run like that. They don't listen. They have directors of football that do the job. They're not in this mess. This isn't an isolated Tottenham situation. The problem is
don't sack the manager, Perchy. Arsenal don't sack the manager. We do.
No,
they're going to have to stop doing that. They're going to have to stop doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Okay. I've got no issues with De Zerbi. This isn't a De Zerbi conversation. I don't want us to sack De Zerbi whether or not we go down or not. I think. However, the question is, as you said, they've got to get it right. They do have to get it right. I agree with you. They don't know how to get it right. They've never been in this situation. And it's easy to go, oh, they'll just have to figure it out. The Championship is a brutal football league. And if you get it wrong, there are teams...
Conte told them and they didn't want to hear it. Conte told them and they didn't want to hear it. They're going to have to hear it from the Conte...
You're not understanding how the football pyramid works.
But the Conte thing's a different... But the Conte thing, though, is a different spoke in the conversation. I'm talking about specifically Tottenham get relegated. Now we need people at the football club that know how to manage the Championship. It is a very specific skill set because you need the players like the Hayden Hackneys out of Middlesbrough to come in. You need that level. We don't know how to. We can barely scout players in the Premier League. Now we're trying to ask these people to try and figure that out. This is my concern.
Actually, we hired Madison from the Championship, Odebert from the Championship.
No, you're missing.
Our academy players, most of them are at Championship clubs.
Yeah,
or Scottish
they're
Premier
very well
clubs
over there.
Still, hang on. Can I just? Sorry, I've got.
Yeah, but
sorry.
what you're saying is if we go down, there's no way we can fix it and come back.
No, that's no. Hang on. Still, hang on. Let someone. Right, still, hang on. But the thing is,
okay, go on.
We're going at different points, right? Whether we hired some players from the Championship playing the Premier League has nothing to do with knowing how to build a squad to get out of the Championship. Listen to every manager, every player, and every pundit from the Championship. They all, and the fans, they all say the same thing. This is a tough, grueling league, right? 46 games. You need players that know how to get out of that league, not kids that everyone raves about. And if you look right now, go and do the homework right now. And Spurs fans, I can tell, have not done this. This is our arrogance as Premier League fans. Go and look at Middlesbrough. Go and look at Coventry. Go and look at Millwall. Go and look at Ipswich. Right, the 4 top teams in the Championship. Go and look at all of them. None of them are playing kids. Right. None of them are playing kids at all. When we're all going, oh, this 19-year-old will be great in that. None of them are playing kids. And all of them buy brilliantly from Championship and League One teams because they know how to build a squad to get out of that league, right? What we're doing is going, oh, well, some of our kids, if they go down, they'll be brilliant in that league. But they don't know that league. They don't know the pressure of that league. They don't know the pressure of playing every 2 days. They don't know the fight that is needed. They've shown it. They haven't got the fight in the Premier League.
Assuming we're going to come back up straight away. I'm saying we stay there and build until we can come back
I'm
up and
not
actually come
straight
up
away.
with a proper foundation.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we will have to hire somebody, right? We will have to hire somebody higher up than De Zerbi, because De Zerbi's not done this. When we're talking about De Zerbi, has no experience of the Championship, right?
No.
He has none. He's a great manager, but he has no experience of the Championship. So when we go down, hang on, still, let me finish. Right? When we go down, we will need somebody in the pyramid that's going to go, I know this league. I know what's needed to get out this league. We need 2 or 3 centre-halves that are just men. Get the job done. They are consistent, solid pros.
Jake
We
Coopers
need
of the world.
a striker that gets you 20 goals. We need 2 workhorses in midfield and 1 guy that dictates. We don't have anyone at the club that knows how to do that. And we're now saying we're going to trust ENIC to suddenly go, right, we know who the right people are to hire to do that. And I don't trust them. I'm sorry. I don't trust them.
But likewise, I could say you expect ENIC to do the same thing in the Premier League when they've shown they can't do it in the Premier League either.
Correct. Well, look what's happening.
Sure.
Look
I don't understand the point. No, hang on, Lupa. I don't understand his point. What's the?
I understand.
Yes, I'd rather they get it wrong in the Premier League than the Championship. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, but
You say that, but fans are moaning every single week in the Premier League, so clearly they're not happy with it. They're not happy with what they're doing.
Yeah, but you'd rather be moaning in the Premier League than the Championship, wouldn't you?
I'm of the belief that nothing will change at this club unless a catastrophic event slaps these owners in the face. Now, for some fans, they think that this is the catastrophic event, that just narrowly missing relegation is the wake-up call. I disagree. I think the wake-up call is to go down and force them to only focus on football, because if they don't, they've lost their asset. Their asset will be worthless in the end.
But they don't know
that's
how
the way
to
I think of it.
Still, the problem is, and we'll bring Chris in a sec, because he hasn't spoken for a while. The problem is still, these guys don't know how to run a successful football club. They have no idea. Look, Levy brought Munn in. What the hell does Munn know about Premier League football? Munn brought Lang.
I disagree, Lubo, I don't disagree.
Munn brought Lang in. These people and these guys know less than Levy. So
I was the one calling it out when we did it, and you lot were saying to me, "Oh, this is a good signing. Oh, this is interesting." And I'm saying, "What are we doing here?" I called it out when it happened.
They have proven this season. They've proven this season. Apart from if it's true that they put 100 or 150 million in the transfer pot for January, that is down to Lang and Paratici. God knows what was going on there, because Paratici brought in 5 players.
Put that money there. They never put that money there.
These owners, there was money there because they pulled 90 million.
No,
there was money put in. Believe me, still.
No, I don't believe you. No, I don't believe you. You don't, but I don't.
Still, my shares were diluted. Still, my share position was diluted even more because they bought 100 million pounds.
To me, you're excited by ENIC 2.0 in the summer, and I had to sit there in front of you, Johnny and Sean, saying, "What the hell are you not talking about?"
So were you.
And I said I don't trust it. I said the patterns haven't changed. Really? And then now you've all come to what I was saying back then.
You were singing with me, "We've got our Tottenham back." So don't.
I remember the song. I was on that show.
I remember it as well.
We got rid of Levy. I did because we got rid of Levy, but I never believed in ENIC 2.0.
And we got ENIC 2.0.
Two things can be true at once. I was delighted we got Levy out, but I never believed in ENIC 2.0.
So
why did
you sing "We Got Our Tottenham Back" then? If you didn't trust
because Levy had gone, because I was happy Levy had gone.
But ENIC was still there still.
Which is why I never believed in ENIC 2.0.
So why were you singing "We Got Our Tottenham Back"?
Look, Lubo, you're asking me the same question. I'm giving you the same answer. You sat there telling me Charrington's great. Johnny sat there saying Charrington's a brilliant signing. You lot sat there waxing lyrical about Vinay. Mate, no. You're not doing this. You, Johnny and Sean, all backed this crap in the summer. I was the only one that pushed back. And then only recently you lot now all going in.
Tell me
That's
how
all
we
you've
got.
got. That's all you've got.
How did we?
Lubo, that's all you've got, mate. Do you want me to play the video?
Stop trying to
Do
point.
you want me to play the video?
You got it wrong. Like I got it wrong about ENIC 2.0. You got it wrong.
I never got it wrong. I said ENIC 2.0 is a nonsense. I said
so how did we get our Tottenham back? If Levy's no good and ENIC 2.0 are no
to cover
good.
your ass. You're trying to cover your ass. You were wrong about
I'm not. I'm asking you a question.
You were wrong about Charrington. You were wrong about Vinay. You said Archie Gray's amazing. You said Mawani's a great signing. Right. You told me Charrington's going to fix the finances. You said Vinay's a good... Mate, everything you lot said was wrong all year.
No, it wasn't. And you got it completely wrong because I don't know how you...
About what? What did I get wrong? What did I get wrong? I've been eating out for 6 years.
Answer me one question. Why did you think we've got our Tottenham back? Why? For what reason?
He had been sacked.
Right, but ENIC Mark II have replaced him. So you obviously thought you got your Tottenham back with Levy's replacement.
No, I said
no one else running the club.
No, can I answer the question?
No one else is running the club.
Guys, this is just vanity and point scoring now. Come on, this is.
Does it actually matter?
Right.
No,
I'll be back in a minute.
He's never wrong.
Mate, go. No. I'm going to explain it. I can explain it. When we got rid of Levy, I was delighted because I've been Levy out for 6 years. I've been saying Levy out. So when he was gone, I'm like, yes, we've got our Tottenham back. But then when we put Vinay as chairman, I said, hold on a minute. I don't buy this, and you lot all bought it. And what I said, and you can go back and watch the videos in the summer. I said was, can I answer the question? What I said was,
that's wrong still.
Can I answer the freaking question, man? What I said was, I want to see what they do first. Yeah. I want to see what they actually do before I jump on this choo-choo train of Vinay and Charrington. And when we got to January, they showed us what they're about. They don't give a shit. I never bought into it in the summer. I said, I want to wait and see. You lot all bought into it. Johnny was waxing lyrical about ENIC 2.0. You said you're excited by it. I wasn't excited by it. I said, I want to wait and see. That's what happened.
For me, I had hope because for me, Levy was a killer for our club. And you just hope that they've seen the mess that Levy's put our club in and they're going to put it right. And Vinay came out after Levy's non-communication and he spoke to the fans and that was a plus. Since then...
But you believe that I didn't. You believed it, I didn't. I never believed that shit.
No, I looked at that one situation you can differentiate. You can split off still one situation from a whole position.
Vinay saying that he looked into Daniel Levy's eyes and he was amazed that Levy went to him to see.
Not interested in that.
Choreographed load of nonsense.
Not interested in that.
That romance video was choreographed.
Before those stupid videos, Vinay was coming out and talking to the fans. Fine, terrific. He did that. After that, we then judge accordingly. So for me, the communication was better. That's a plus. Now let's see where they go from here. First mistake Vinay made was bringing Paratici in on the same level as Lang. That was a massive...
This is all hindsight, man. This is all hindsight.
That's right. But listen,
pure revisionism.
Well, I've got to tell you something. Did anybody think Labour were going to be this shit in Parliament? Nobody did, but everybody's changed their position, or most people have changed their position on how bad...
Hold on. The people
that didn't vote Labour... change your opinion.
Lubo, the people that didn't vote Labour obviously didn't think they'd be good. So how can you say that?
Right, but a lot of the Labour voters... You can see by the polls are not voting now. They have changed their mind in hindsight. They've seen how they've done. And that's the same with me and Vinay. Vinay's made mistake after mistake. His judgment call in keeping Frank was horrendous, just horrendous. And for me, they've got to go. Lang and Vinay have got to go. The problem we've got is
they're not going to go if we stay in the Premier League, Lubo. Sorry to break your heart. They're not going if we stay in the Premier League.
One of those, Lang, I think, will definitely go.
No, he won't. They'll bring in someone to work with him. He's not going anywhere.
Let's see.
I'm telling you now.
Let's see. Why? Because Ali Gold said, let's see.
Ali Gold. I don't listen to him. I think he's an idiot.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Have you heard it? Have you heard it from the Lewis's mouth directly that Lang is staying?
I'll bet money on it. I will bet money that Lange is here in the summer if we stay in the Premier League. I bet money on it. And I don't ever bet money. I will bet money on it. They'll bring in another guy to work with Lange, and we'll have Lange and some... Anyway, do you know what? That was a stupid argument for no reason.
Not a chance. Lang has put the value, massive value, at risk.
You do this all the time, man. You do this all the time. You say these things about the board, and the opposite happens. Like, this is why I just can't do this. This is why I hope we freaking get relegated, because it's the only way the majority of fans are actually going to fucking get what is going on at this club. It will never change at this club unless real pain is put on the owners and for the fans to say, shit, what's just happened? Maybe we should have protested. Maybe we should have boycotted. Maybe we should have stopped doing stupid videos of Solanke fixing the attack and Matthias Tell fixing the left wing. Maybe we should have stop doing these stupid generational players are going to take Spurs to the Champions League crap. But you know what's going to happen. We're going to do it again in the summer when we sign some random Brazilian who's 17 years old. The same shit will happen.
There are not enough fans that care enough to protest. That's the problem. We've seen it.
And that's why we're going to get relegated.
We've all seen it.
United have had a player sent off.
Who have? United.
Martin.
Great referee decision.
If it's only Romero that gets red cards.
So hang on. So when we kick off against Brighton, are we saying that if Leeds beat Wolves at the 3 o'clock, we're 9 points off Leeds?
Yeah.
Yep.
and they've got a better goal difference.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus
you know what
Christ.
the worst thing is? I actually said the only game I actually really think Spurs will win is Leeds United at home, because we beat them at their ground and maybe we can get something on them. Do you know what? If they're 9 points ahead, it doesn't even matter if we beat them now. It actually doesn't matter because they've got a big advantage. It won't even matter.
Chris, you've been quiet while all this has been going on.
I've been entertaining the chat, mate. So, but yeah.
Tell me, in terms of, do you see Enoch changing if we go down?
How do you know? Like, I mean, that whole argument that you guys just had. Like the truth is, right? When was Levy good for us? I think universally it's got to be no, right? So there was reason to be optimistic when he went. How could any of us know what Charrington was going to be like or Vinay was going to be like? We didn't know. So you had hope at that stage. It's not turned out to be very good, has it? But we don't need to look back at hindsight and go, you were pro Charrington, you were against Charrington, whatever. How on earth would any of us known how it would pan out with these guys? But a few months later on, it's looking pretty poor. So who is Enoch when you say they're going to change? I mean, if we're talking about the people at the top, well, they're not going to change. They're not going to change people, are they? They're not. We're not going to. They're going to be the same people unless they sell the club. So, who do they appoint? The question becomes whether Vinay stays and whether people like Lange stay. Let's hope that they don't. But then we're back in where we were when Levy left. Are we going to be any better off with the next people they appoint? Maybe eventually they might get one of them right, but at the moment the track record's not good. So I understand everything Stell says. I kind of agree with the principle of a shock to change tactics, but I also agree with what Sava says. If they don't have the ability to make the right decision, then it doesn't bode very well, does it? So, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I would say, though, we've spoken for an hour and 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever about what happens when we get relegated. As likely as it seems, we're not actually there yet. We've still got another 6 games that we could talk about as well before we talk about what's going to happen next season in the Championship, right?
Chris, why don't you start the chat on that? Lubo, do you mind doing the super chats quickly? Because I can't do it off my phone. Can you do the super chats and then I'll...
Where are they? Hold on.
Okay. Tell me
Where are they?
Oh my God.
Where am I looking still?
Go to Stard.
At the top of the comments, Next to comments, it says starred.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start.
Here
Here we go. Sniffer, NUFC, just come from up there. Bad weekend for your boys as well, unfortunately, as well. Thank you very much.
Put the comment on the screen. Libo, can you put the comment on the screen?
Bang. There we go. Super sticker. Thank you very much from Sniffer. As ever. Spurs syndrome. Poor recruitment, no leadership, no plan, no heart and soul. Telling me, Kane and Son papered over so many cracks, and it's showing now.
Yep.
We've got too many kids and 3 strikers that couldn't hit water standing on a boat. Spot on with everything there, Spurs syndrome. Thank you very much for the generous super chat. Moving on. Coy's Hull Spurs will be coming up to see you. Maybe you can come and join us in the ground next season. Coy's Hull Spurs became a YouTube member. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Stephen J, another regular. Thank you very much again for the super chat, Stephen. Vinay and Lange have to go. Complete mess following the Europa win. They said we would be fighting on multiple fronts and then served up crap. That's being polite. Where are we next? Moving on. Laurie Boost, 2905. Thanks again for yours. Generosity. Laurie, my granddad was in a 1935 squad. Who was he, Laurie? Which player was this? Always nice to hear old stories.
Ben Davis.
Man.
Dean Law. Dean Law's he's the Harry Kane of super chat. Super sticker. Thank you very much, Dean. And I think that's where are we? Couple more. Hold on. The only people, another one from Coy's Hull. The only people that will be suffering will be the supporters. The rest will leave on their lifeboats and watch the cockerel sink. So sad. Absolutely, we are fans. We are the ones that are engaged. These owners don't give a damn. They're worth billions anyway. They'll sell the club for whatever money and they'll get on with their lives. And we'll be left with the shit. That's what I've always said.
Well, maybe they should protest when they had the chance.
Well, we'll see. Tommy Costello. Hi, Tommy. Thanks again to you. Still does about Enoch 2-0, but he backs them next year to get us out of the championship. Make it make sense. Great panel, including Still. Thank you, Tommy. Yes, Still and I will always disagree on that one. A user.
Can I just say to Tommy that if we go down, I don't believe Vinay and Lange will be here. So Enoch 2.0 won't be Enoch 2.0. So that's
3.0.
I have said that.
3.0, yeah.
3.0. Yeah.
Well, who else is going to come in from Enoch?
No, that's not true because Vinay and Lang are.
They're not direct.
Vinay and Lang will still be the same Enoch that you're putting trust in. So that's not true.
I think when we say Enoch 2.0, Enoch 1.0, I think we're talking about the board structure when we say that, not the actual specific 100% shareholdings. That's what I mean when I say it.
Okay, thanks again, our user. Della Spurs, thank you very much. Love the discussion, fellas. Just to present an idea. Bodo Glimt hired Knutson and stuck with him for a decade. They were relegated, came back and won leagues. Knutson handled transfers and coached. But if we all remember, Birkinshaw came in 76. The team went down the following season. He brought them back up, brought Ozzy and Ricky, and then brought Archibald and Crooks. So there is pressure.
When you say if we all remember, you're the only one on the panel.
You're the only one literally that remembers. None of us were born then.
Now, hang on 1 second. I can sing, and if you know your history, I'm sure as Spurs fans, we all know that we won 3 trophies in the early 80s. So
I just argued with you for 10 minutes, and now you're saying I can see a path to relegation being good. Is this happening? Is this really happening?
If we go down, as we said, so
is this really happening?
I have no control over whether we go down or not. If we do,
but the same owners will be in charge, Lubo.
Well, who knows?
That's what you just said to me.
They don't know. Listen. De Zerbi might win the League One championship in 2 years' time. Who knows? Who knows? Thank you very much, Stella Spurs. Adam Gill, thank you to Adam. We're down. The players don't care. They gave up months ago when all they got was abuse online and booed for 3 months. Let down by the fans and owners. I can't agree with that, Adam. I think, the fans spend a lot of money to go. They're a very committed bunch, very engaged, and players have got to reciprocate. And for me, I don't think the players have.
You were in the away and fighting with the players.
I wasn't fighting with them.
I would make a point on the fan base. It does. I know you're not allowed to say anything because everyone turns on you. How dare you say anything? But our fan base is all over the place. So I agree with things that we've said about that they won't protest. But this is correct. We've booed the players most of the season, and then the other week we want to applaud them all in when it's really bad. And also the other point I'd make,
actually,
hang on.
Yeah, the other point I'd make is when we're talking about, we all know it's Enoch, but we are a fan base that is full of excuses, not just the referee and the media and everybody's against, not just that. But last season, at the start of this, we were talking about, like Sava said, this has been going on for ages, right? Our performance been poor. Yeah. But last season, as a fan base, we all excused that and said, oh, that's all okay. No, we're not really that bad. We all pretended because Ange, after the event, claimed that we'd thrown it in. We said, oh, no, we're not really that bad. It's okay. We weren't really trying. No, we've genuinely been this rubbish for ages. But as a fan base, we just don't want to accept it. We want to big up all of our players, no matter how rubbish they are. Not going to get into individuals, but we've all seen the debates on people who stick up for the players. The truth is right in front of us, but we don't want to do anything about it as a fan base.
No, Chris, talk for yourself, mate. I'm calm and controlled.
I've got to say, Chris, considering, just looking at Adam's super chat, considering the way the fans have gone after the players this season, I don't think the fans are under any illusion how bag this squad is. I've never.
I'm not having that.
I have never known. Sorry, I'm talking about match days. I'm not talking about social media. I've never known.
Are you kidding me?
I've never known so many games when the players have been booed off at half time, at full time. Come on, we see it virtually every game.
Lubo, I'm not having
but
that.
then
Is
we're
ridiculous.
talking about match day and going. Sorry, for those that don't. Sorry, Lubo, I hate it when you do this. Just because people can't get to every game doesn't
I'm
make
not
them
saying that. I'm
social.
saying what goes on in the ground, Sav.
Can I finish the sentence? Doesn't make them a social media fan. Right? I hate when people say to me now, you're not a fan, you're a YouTuber. Well, I supported Spurs in the 80s when the internet didn't exist, let alone YouTube. Like, everyone gets positioned in. But I'm sorry, Lubo, I make you massively wrong on this, and I'm going to say it. I think you're part of this. Right? I'm not going to pull my words. People like you rate a lot of very, very, very bad to average footballers. All I've heard is when Solanke's back, what about it? When Adogi's back, what about it? When United have put one back, when Bergval's back, when all of these players come back, people like you tell me all the time, it'll be different. And it's not. These players aren't good enough. Like the best players are the ones that are out for a long time. The Kuduses, the Madisons, the Kulu, they are the better players, right? But all of the players I've been told, you're like, Bergval's back this weekend. So what? He don't do anything. Yes, he does. Like what? Well, he runs around. Okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? Adogi, he's good. At what? He runs up and down the left wing. Like, sorry, but to say that fans realise how bad this squad is, if they did, we wouldn't be arguing every single day on YouTube about the players. Otherwise, we would all be in agreement that this is a shit squad and most of them can go.
And we wouldn't need the excuses. If excuses won us points, we'd have won the league hands down a long time ago. The excuses every game about to why, and the actual just fact of the matter is, we are genuinely one of the worst three teams in the league. I think, like, I think we deserve to be relegated. That's why we lose. We lose because we're crap. All the other excuses are just...
The form since Christmas has been the worst in the league by a long shot.
Yeah, and no one's against us, Lubo. There's no great conspiracy of either referees or me. The amount of people who are moaning even about, like, the media, the commentators people are moaning about, I'm like, oh, my God. Can we just grow up a little bit and go...
United have scored.
The problem is the players.
Oh, Don Goodman hates us. Oh, Oh, get over it.
Yeah.
Grown men. Like, oh, the referees are conspiring against us. Oh, of course they are. Yeah, they all sit around the room. They all sit around the room going, "Let's relegate Spurs." Every single thing that happens against Spurs, we think that there's a conspiracy, and
It's mad.
I've never seen so much energy after yesterday's game. All the energy, for me personally, only my opinion, should have been on just how bad the Zerbi got it wrong, right? Whether you like him or not, it's okay to say the manager got it wrong. And all I've seen on social media for the last 24 hours is the ref, commentators, the PGMO, MOL, it's like
Dermot Gallagher on Ref Watch this morning. Oh, he's
I heard that one.
Oh, how
It's
ingenious
mental.
was he? But we'll come on to that in a minute because I've still got 2 super chats. Guys, so thanks very much. Dan, Ryan Spurs, thank you. ENIC have changed. They've gone from bad to worse. Unfortunately, I think you're 100% correct. Nobody's making decisions, and any decisions that are made are horrendous. 100% agree with you. And Russell, people need to accept it's over. Thank you for the super chat, Russell. I think a lot of fans are coming around to that way of thinking. Thank you. Okay, guys, should we move on to this? And I just want to move on. We spoke before on one of the subjects we were going to talk about, and Sav's just sort of mentioned it. So instinct is referees. And I'm not saying that I'm splitting this off from yesterday's performance. I don't want anybody to say I'm blaming the referee that we lost. I'm not. But I think yesterday's refereeing decisions were some of the worst, not just for us, for them as well. I thought this was a referee that was horrendous. And when you're down near the bottom and you're losing games, when controversial decisions go against you, you feel it that much more. If you won a game 3-1, 3-2, and the referee's made 1 or 2 bad decisions, but you walk away and you won 3 points, you're happy because you've won, and the refereeing decisions really don't mean that much. But when you're down near the bottom, you need that little bit of luck, and decisions do seem to go against you. You look at the Mawani push that was disallowed, the goal that was disallowed against Arsenal, the goal that was disallowed at West Ham when Van der Ven got pushed in the back, and so on and so on and so on. And for me, the reason I watched just before I came online, I watched the match of the day highlights. I watched the close up of what Brobby did. What he did was vicious, with malice, and was worth. Sorry,
Oh, get out of it.
You have a look.
That is ridiculous.
Now, let me finish. Let me
Like
finish.
that.
Let me finish. He pushed Romero straight into Kinski. There was literally a yard between the three when he did it. He knew what he was doing, and Romero's out. Sorry, hang on a sec. Romero's out for 2 months. Kinski, thankfully, wasn't too badly hurt. He knew what he was doing. The minimum there was a yellow card. Rob Jones bottled it. I can't stand referees who don't give what they see. I'm sorry, that was a yellow card. A lot of people think that was a yellow card. You guys are looking at me.
A lot of people that don't know the rules think it was a yellow card, Lubo, right?
Exactly.
That's
That was a straight push. He pushed one player into another. He knew what he was doing. I'm sorry. That was a yellow. That was a yellow and a second red.
Boy, you cried ball.
Can I just go first on it?
Yeah, go on.
I'm not going to get into too much. I'm happy to explain the law, but I just wonder in Lubo's world. So when Dermot Gallagher goes on this morning and explains it, and it says why it's not a yellow card, why do you think he says that then? Has Dermot Gallagher got an agenda against Spurs as well?
He wasn't honest, Chris. He didn't say that he pushed him into another player. He pushed two players. He forced.
He wasn't honest.
If you normally push a player like that, it's not a booking. But when you deliberately push one player into his own goalkeeper,
He didn't do that, Lubo. He was
come on.
behind it.
I've seen it
Lubo,
close up, Sam.
And also,
close up on Match of the Day. I'm sorry, that
No,
was
really,
deliberate.
Sorry, the rest of us haven't watched it. No,
There was
the rest of us
nothing
haven't watched it.
accidental. There was nothing accidental about that. That was a deliberate push. He didn't need to do it. He wasn't going to get to the ball. Romero had shielded the ball back, and Kinski was getting the ball. There was no need for Brobby to push him at all. None whatsoever. Sorry, that was deliberate.
I agree with that.
It was deliberate. And because he caused injury, I'm sorry, that there are ramifications, and if
that's the point on law, isn't it? That's the point, because the last bit of what you just said is completely irrelevant in law.
Exactly. Thank you, Chris. It is in the law, Lugo. It is.
Because if we're now penalising people for injuries, that's ridiculous. That's not how it works. Romero, by the way, hang on. Romero pushes players all game. You say nothing about that. You say nothing about it. But because he's pushed Romero, now all of a sudden it's vicious. I mean, did you really?
I'm sorry. You don't push one player into another player at speed.
Didn't push him into.
He did. You saw what happened. 2 players got injured. Sorry.
Without you losing your mind, without you getting so angry, right? Take your Spurs hat off for 1 second, right? I don't think anyone doesn't think it was a foul. Yes, it was a foul, right? But listen to how Jay Bothroyd described it and the ref. Neither of those two have got anything to do with Tottenham, by the way. They've got no affiliation with Spurs. Jay Bothroyd said, that is a striker who's got a little bit frustrated and just gone like that, right? He said, Jay Bothroyd said it, didn't he? He's not actually pushing him into the player. He's just pushed him. But because the keeper's come out, that's where the collisions happen. Now, the problem is, Lubo, this is the difference. The law states that the outcome, let me get these words right. Chris will correct me on this. You can't make the decision based on the injury because the injury isn't the foul, right? And that's the difference between reading the rule book and not. So if he had done that push and Kinski wasn't there, no one would have said a thing. But Kinski has rushed out at speed. Robbie's pushed him. It's a foul. Get up, get on with it. If that had happened at the other end, no way would anyone go, to be fair, Romero should be sent off for that. We've got fans that when Van der Ven pulled back the Crystal Palace striker with both arms in the penalty area that went, that's not a penalty, right? So it wasn't vicious. It was a tiny little push. It was a foul.
Sav, he would have seen Kinski coming out.
No, he was behind him.
But Kinski's got no relevance to this. Can we? It's got no relevance to this.
Ramifications are in the injuries.
No, that's not how it works. That's not That's not how it works.
Perchy, can I just remind Lubo of something? Earlier on this season, Van der Ven didn't get the ball and broke Isak's leg. Is the same going to apply in that or not?
Yes.
You didn't say anything back then when he broke his leg.
He should have been pulled for that. Van der Ven should have been pulled for that because he's taken.
But nothing was meant. But nothing. But we didn't mention that when it happened. Is my point.
What I don't get though, obviously you're really passionate, Lubo. I'm not going to knock you for that, and you're getting really frustrated, going, no, this should happen and that should happen. But when you're given the factual information of that's not what the law says, I don't understand then how you just dismiss it and go, yeah, but it should still be this, but. It's black and white in the law.
Chris, how can ramifications of a foul not count? When they do...
It's pretty obvious, Lubo, because you can't have a yellow card conditional on whether Romero hurdles Kinski or not. You can't have whether Romero jumps up or he doesn't jump up, result in it being a yellow card or not a yellow card. That's absolute nonsense. That's ridiculous.
But for me, my opinion is that Robbie saw him coming and deliberately pushed Romero.
But unless you're a mind reader, you can't know.
Yeah,
that.
you're literally
only
just
penalise what actually happened.
Right in front of him, and he can see Kinski coming for the ball.
Again, not in the law.
Well,
this is what it always comes down to. People say
the other law that you mentioned to me texting at half time that I thought was crazy. The penalty that we were given that was overturned, I think we all saw from where we were that wasn't a pen. It didn't look like a penalty at all.
Please don't say it was. I'm begging you, please don't.
And it was a corner because they showed on television that the Sunderland defender...
I know this one.
Clearly, yeah, I know you made it.
Because Lubo don't know the rules. This is the difference.
On this occasion, the referee's made a mistake and he's given the penalty when it wasn't a penalty.
Right.
But if the guy's cleared it for a corner, surely he then goes back and says,
Okay,
"Do you know
Lubo,
what?
can I explain?
Can I-
Lubo,
that
can I
should
explain?
be a corner."
Sorry, Lubo.
I know
Lubo,
this one.
This is the
Why is
difference,
that not?
right?
Why is that not a corner then?
Okay,
Lu-
I'm going to
Sam will
explain
tell
it to you. Lubo. I'm going to explain it to you because the difference between what Lubo thinks should happen and what the laws have written are two very different things. I've seen so many people in the chat say it should have been a corner. The rule is if a penalty decision is overturned with no infringement by the attacking team, play will restart with an uncontested drop ball for the defending team, right? And this is the difference. The referee, he knows that rule. The
It's a
fans
rule.
going, corner. I'll be honest, Lubo. Hang on. I'll be honest, Lubo. I said onto my stream, shouldn't that be a corner then? Then somebody messaged me and goes, hang on, here's the rules in the law book. And you go, fair enough.
And my point is, Sav, again, this is a ridiculous rule that IFAB have brought in.
That's
Don't
got
doubt
nothing
that.
to do with the referee, though. The referee's
I'm
only
not
implementing
saying-
the rules.
That's not my point.
You can explain the law.
My point isn't that the referee made a rick here. My point is that if that's the law, then that's the wrong law, and that should be changed.
The
Because
reason for it, the reason
make
for
the
it
tackle.
is you go mental, Lubo, all the time about consistency. So if you went with that, 99% of the time you give a penalty, the ball's not gone out. So you can't give a corner, goal kick, or whatever. So if you want a corner in that scenario, you're now having an inconsistency where 1 week we're going to give a corner because the ball had gone out. The next week we're going to give a drop ball. So in order for it to be consistent in every scenario, they said, right, everybody wants consistency. The only way to do that is by mandating that the restart has to be a drop ball. Otherwise, it's inconsistent.
Chris, the ball had gone out yesterday before he blew.
I've just
It was all very
explained.
quick.
Just
They were
explain
like-
it.
99% of the time it doesn't.
Come on, man.
Lubo, can I say one thing on this, guys? Just putting my coach's hat on. We had the situation where referees were getting a lot of abuse in league football. So we got called in by the FA. And they had the head of the referees association for one of the county FAs. Really nice bloke, actually. Looked a bit like Alan Mullery. And he said to us, before we start today, have any of you read this? And he lifted up this book. He goes, it's £5. You can buy one today. I brought some with me. It's called Laws of the Game. How many of you have read the book Laws of the Game? It's the laws of the game. Nobody put their hand up. Like none of us had read the book. And he goes, why would any of you argue with the referee if you haven't read what the laws of the games are?
Bang
Right? It was a mic drop. The room went silent. You had a lot of, yeah, I'm a top coach. Yeah, I know my shit. No one knew what to say to this guy. And he goes, read the book and then start talking to me about whether the referees are doing the right thing or not. On top of that, at the start of every season, FIFA has to sanction every UEFA league, and every league in every country has to be sanctioned by the governing body, and all the clubs at the AGM agree to the rules for that season. So what you're saying, Lubo, nothing will change. Lubo, nothing will change until the end of the season, and that's whether it's passed at the AGMs and it's sanctioned by the FA and UEFA. So this conversation is pointless.
Guys, I'm really
Absolutely
sorry.
pointless.
I'm gonna have to jump off. I've got to go. I've got something's come up. So thanks a lot for having me on. It's been a great chat. Speak to you all later. Thanks a lot. Okay.
Cheers.
Bye bye.
Still, can I tell you what I don't understand? What I don't understand is how people can't understand the difference between would I like every decision to go Tottenham's way? Yes. But I also understand that the rules are there to the laws. Sorry, not the rules. The laws are the laws. Just because somebody like Chris, I'll stick up for Chris here, just because somebody like Chris comes on, shares his knowledge as an ex-referee that, hang on, this is the law, and fans go, what do you lot know? Hang on, Chris has not ever said, I 100% agree with XYZ law. He's just explaining, this is the reason why it wasn't given. The problem is football fans are so emotional against their own team, for their own team, right? That just have a look in the chat right now. Only people can't just say, I didn't know that rule because it didn't go the way. Right? How many didn't know the rule that it wasn't a corner? Right? Listen,
No, you're right. You're
I think
right.
refs-
Because what it
I
is
think
is
refs
Yeah, go on.
are great, and I think refs are shit. Like, do you know what I mean, right? But this season alone has coincided with Spurs fans every game, right? They cry wolf with "we are hard done by." Every game, it's refs. Refs have got something against us. Refs. Funny thing is, if you go on social media, right? Every fan of every club has a problem with the referee from their weekend's game every week. Sunderland fans, I've been sent loads of posts of Sunderland fans complaining about the ref yesterday, saying, can't believe he gave Spurs XYZ. Can't believe he did XYZ. And this is why when we have the chat of consistency still, you can't have consistency because this 50% of fans here think this and this 50% think that. How can you be consistent? No one knows the rules for it to be consistent.
Yeah, Sava, nobody here except for Chris has probably, and I'm assuming this, has read Laws of the Game. I've got the
I had to
book.
do it for my coaching badges, but years ago.
I've got the book here. I still haven't read it. It's so bloody long, right? And do you know what it is? I think fans, they're angry with the law, not the referee. The referee is just following the laws.
Yeah.
They're angry with the rules, which is what I think you were trying to say, Lubo. But
I don't think they know that still. I agree with you, but I don't think fans know that it's the law they're angry with, and they take it out on the referee for making a bad decision when usually it's accurate. I just make one other point as well. People have a go at me for always defending the refs, but I don't. And there was one game this season where, honestly, one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen. I was shocked. My criticism would be different from someone else's. So there was one game where I thought the referee's communication was bad, his body language was bad, his card technique, his whistle tone, his positioning, everything was, I thought, one of the worst refereeing decisions I've ever seen. That match was Villarreal at home. Spurs fans said almost nothing about it. Why do you think Spurs fans were not upset about the referee?
Because we won the game of football.
We won the game, but that referee, I thought, was out of his depth and one of the worst refs. So when people say you don't criticize ref, I'm happy to. He was shit, but I'm not emotionally attached to the result of the game. That will influence how I view the referee.
I think, Chris. Listen, the two of us. I've mentioned how I feel about IFAB to you on different occasions. I think they are egotistical. I think they want to be the bosses of the game. I think they want to be the stars of the game, and they're changing so many rules that it does make it difficult to keep up. I think it's difficult for referees today, particularly as well as the changes of rules with the amount of diving that goes on. We saw diving from our player yesterday. Players jumping into other players to try and get a penalty. I just think that yesterday I think we're all looking for that break. We've had such a shocking run. I think we're all looking for a break. We're looking for something to run for Spurs so that we get a break, so that we can get out of this losing run.
To have a half decent game of football, Lubo, because do you know what? Do you know what? I used to say this to my players, but my players used to moan about the ref. I used to say to them, hold on a minute. How many shots have we had? How many times have we hit the post? How many penalties have we won? Tell me what we've done to influence the game and take it out of the referee's hand. Because what's happening at Spurs now is, and Perchie said it spot on earlier, we are looking for anything to blame other than ourselves. We were shit. We were absolutely shit against Sunderland.
I think I caveated this conversation by saying that I'm not linking this to the defeat. I think we've all discussed for the last hour and a half how bad Spurs have been. So I don't think anybody here is making excuses for Spurs. When I look at decisions like that through ball for Udogie, he took it on his chest, he got taken out, and Rob Jones runs away, doesn't want to know. And you look at that, Brobby's elbowed Porro in the face.
He hasn't elbowed him at all.
Not done what you said he's done there.
Honestly, you make it out like he got Tyson Fury punched him. It was nothing.
He didn't do that.
Hang on, Perchie.
He didn't do that at all.
Yeah, but Chris, Lubo, you're looking at it through the lens of a Tottenham fan, which I totally get. But Chris has just told us that the Sunderland fans were complaining about the referee as well.
Well,
So
listen,
we don't see it through their lens. Maybe through their lens, maybe they saw something that we didn't, and one of our players maybe should have got a
Still,
send-off.
did I not say when I started this conversation, I thought it was the worst performance I've seen for ages, and that included decisions that he gave for us against Sunderland as well. I thought Rob Jones...
Lubo, is that the referee was bad for Sunderland as well, if you speak to Sunderland fans.
I thought he was dreadful, and it's worrying when he is one of the main referees in the Premier League, and he's getting regular games and he's refereeing at that level. I mean, there were two...
Although I would say, Lubo, that's... in my view, that's your opinion most weeks, so it doesn't really then have a lot of...
We used to have, you know what, Chris, we used to have referees, and I'll go back before your time, people like Kirkpatrick, people like Jim Finney coming closer to home, people like Graham Pole, Clattenburg, that were different class to these referees today. They were on a different level, so much
quicker. The game's a lot quicker. It's a lot quicker.
Phil, look how good Kalina was. I mean, just football.
Go and ask Everton fans who think he's one of the worst referees ever.
I mean, listen, we've seen Kalina referee lots of top games. He was superb as a referee.
We've seen Michael Oliver referee loads of top games, but we hate.
But he's not the norm. Kalina's not the norm. He's not Kalina.
I think the problem is it seems to become and it seems to become now with Spurs fans, and I'm sure all fan bases, that
by the way, Arsenal's just as bad at this.
After every single game, right? Why are the Spurs fans not more worried about the shit team selection? Why are we not more worried about the fact that we couldn't string 3 passes together to attack? Why are we not worried about the fact that we didn't bring on our playmaker till the 85th minute? Instead, I've seen massive channels going, if Spurs don't write off to the PGMOL, then this is disgusting. Hang on. What about worrying about what we do to affect winning a game rather than constantly moaning about referees? Every fan base moans about referees. Well, what's it? I don't know what it achieves.
Unfortunately, it doesn't achieve anything. Listen, there's been inconsistency with decisions, particularly at corners with Spurs this season. I think we can all agree that. Listen, sometimes
every fan base will say that.
Everyone says it though.
Which season has that not happened, Lubo?
If I go and speak now to a, let me just plug it. If I go and speak now to a West Ham fan, for example, and go, "What do you think of the refereeing this season?" That whatever the West Ham fan is going to go, "Oh my God, there was this occasion against Wolves. There was this occasion against Brighton. There's this." The same thing that we can go, well, especially against us. Well, of course, especially against us, because we watch all of our games. We don't watch every game of every club. But the point is, I said to you when we had a WhatsApp chat this morning, Lubo, the problem is because we're crying wolf every single week with the refs, it's starting to water down any complaints we have because we're Spurs, we're hard done by. No, we're not. We're just not very good at the moment. We're not hard done by.
Listen, it can be that we're not very good and we've had a raw deal.
No, because if we'd won, no, because not one Spurs fan, if we'd have beaten Sunderland yesterday, going terrible decision by the referee, they're going, we've won the game. Do you know why? I've noticed how the referee has become the topic of Spurs fans this year. Do you know why? Because we don't win fucking football matches. That's why. That is the only reason why. Because when we win games of football, no one talks about referees. They talk about us winning games of football. And that's the difference. Maybe if we were better, we wouldn't be complaining as much.
Percy, I did say that earlier. That when you're winning...
But you said it, and then it moved on to, but the ref had the worst game. It's like, what decision did he get horrendously wrong?
I thought Rob Jones was dreadful. My son.
Name me one decision he got horrendously wrong. One.
Well, he should have sent Robbie off for me.
Why?
Sorry, you either elbow. What's the difference between?
It wasn't an elbow because he didn't elbow him.
Jab. Sorry.
Watch it back. He didn't elbow him.
He did.
And by the way, Pedro Porro's lucky not to be booked because he had his. No one mentions Pedro Porro not getting booked when he was grabbing a hold of him for that's a bookable offence. He should have been booked for that, but no one talks about that.
The
So
worst
let's
thing
not
was
do this.
Porro throwing himself on the floor, holding his head. Then Bobby does get a yellow card. He jumps up and runs off.
I thought it was
They're all the same.
pathetic.
Unfortunately, they're all the same, but that doesn't.
I think Richarlison should have got a red card for that awful shot he took when he p-rolled it into the goalie's hand.
Well, there you go. Listen,
Can we move it on? Can we move it on?
Go on.
Because we haven't spoken about this yet. So currently, not considering that Leeds are on the brink of being on 36 points, there's about 3 minutes to go there. Let's see what happens. But as it stands, this is kind of what the league table looks like. These are the games remaining, guys. So obviously Leeds are playing Man United now, so that'll be chalked off. But when you look at the remaining games, Leeds have got Wolves and Burnley at home, which they're going to really fancy. Forest have got Burnley at home, and that's probably the only easy game they've got left. West Ham have got no games at all, you'd say, left that are easy. Palace is probably the last half-ish game you'd fancy them to do something. Whereas Spurs, are any of our games easy, guys? When you look at Spurs, Brighton at home, Wolves away, Villa away, Leeds at home, Chelsea away, Everton at home. When you look at these fixtures, where are you guys at with it?
Well, I don't think we could beat Enfield Town at the moment, let alone beating Brighton at home. Like I genuinely like. Do you know what's funny, Rob? We always go, let's look at the results when we get. I can't see us beating anyone at the moment. We are dreadful. Like at the moment, like genuinely, like I think we could play against a non-league team and struggle at the moment. We are devoid of any confidence and we're devoid of anything. And that's my concern.
Spurs need a win desperately. They've got to get a win. It's the way you look at it. 14 games we haven't won. We got 5 out of 42. So you look at it and you think, well, all the metrics are saying we're not going to win another game this season. But sooner or later, surely something's got to turn, and hopefully it's soon enough.
Which game?
Leeds have just won. It's over. So Leeds are 6 points clear, better goal difference, and their next game is Burnley at home.
I'm just saying, though, Lubo predicted would get 18 points. There's still 18 points on the table. I'm just saying. We could go and win 6 on the bounce. I'm just saying.
That was a bit
another crazy. That's another wild thing he said. That was
from 12 games. Still, you said 12. Sean and Johnny said 15. I said 18.
Lubo.
I said
8. Yeah, I also said we lose to Sunderland. What game are we going to win, Lubo? Which game left are we winning then? Guys, do we all agree we need to win more than one game? Or we all say
I think we need to win 3.
I think we need 3 as a minimum.
At the moment, if you look at how the games are,
could we get a win and 2 draws, or 2 wins and a draw? Is that something that's
possible? This way, still, if West Ham, so as it stands right now, Leeds United are 6 points clear of us, right?
Yeah.
So as it stands right now, let me just bring up the table, right? Premier League. So Leeds United are 6 clear of us, a better goal difference by 1, and Burnley at home to play next, right? Forest are 3 above us, and West Ham are 2 above us. If Forest and West Ham win one more game each, they are 5 and 6 points respectively above us. So if both of them just win one of their last 6, we must, as a minimum, win 2. Right? Yeah. I can't see 1 win at the moment still, let alone 2. But football's a funny game. You get a win, and then maybe another win comes after. But still, Brighton, who come to us next, are the most informed team in the country.
We're not beating Brighton. I don't think we beat Brighton.
More than Bournemouth.
Yep.
Bournemouth are beating in 12 now, aren't they?
Mate,
yeah, but they've drawn a lot.
Lubo, Brighton have won 5 of their last 6.
We ain't beat Brighton. I'm not.
Brighton are
no
on
way
fire,
we beat Brighton.
right? So
I think we have to beat Brighton.
I think if we don't beat Brighton, I think we're gone. I think we are absolutely gone.
I think because if we don't beat Brighton, I can't see us going to Wolves and winning. We're not going to win at Villa. And then by the time the Leeds home game comes round, we've got 3 games left. One of them is Chelsea away. I think it might already basically be too late at that stage, and the pressure of having to win both those last 2 home games will be way too much for us. So,
Chris,
I do think that.
do you know,
I think we've got to win on Saturday, or we're done.
Chris, I stick.
Still, Villa will be in between the 2 semi-final legs that they've got, probably against Forest.
What difference that make?
We keep saying these things every game.
Do you know why I don't listen to stuff like that? Because when I hear that, that's like me listening to people that said De Zerbi's got 10 days with the players.
Yeah.
It means nothing to me. Just what happens on the days. The only.
We were saying Bergvall's back this weekend. We're going to be different. Yeah, sure.
But still, Villa are now the top 5 are guaranteed Champions League group matches next season. Villa are now 7 clear of Chelsea with 6 to go. So if they're even further clear by the time they play us in 3 games time, then he may just
Villa's B team will be
clutching at the proverbial straws right now.
I
hear this all the time. What difference
without a win? The thing is, Lubo, what I love is you've got to have balance, right? I love it because your balance is very much.
Lubo's optimistic. Lubo's optimistic.
Yeah,
he's optimistic.
I love the optimism, but this is the same optimism as when we had 12 games left to go and people started predicting that we were going to get 21 points because Frank's gone. We're suddenly going to start winning every game. This is the same optimism as we scrape a lucky draw at Liverpool and suddenly all I heard was all this nonsense that the players are much fitter now, much more organised, much better. And that wasn't true either, right? I heard all last week, this is the best training these players have said they've had for years. And yet you go to the game against Sunderland and it looked like nothing had changed. I like that you try and find these positives, but the problem for me is none of this has worked all season. All of this, well, they're playing there and we're, at the end of the day, all that's going to win us points is forget other teams rotating players or playing in Europe. Are we good enough? And I look at this front line, and this is the worst front line I've ever seen for Tottenham, Lubo. And this is the worst set of midfielders collectively that I've ever seen at Tottenham. Gray, Bergvall, Sarr, Gallagher, Basuma, Bentancur is the worst collective group of midfielders I've ever seen at Tottenham. Right?
Listen, it's the worst squad that I can remember.
So where's the win coming from?
The relegation. In fact, the relegation squad was probably better.
So where's the win coming from? Like what is deserved? Like for example, against Brighton, what are we suddenly going to do in that game that's different? Because this guy listen, I like De Zerbi. Let me caveat. I've got to say, I like De Zerbi. De Zerbi talked all last week about being brave, right? De Zerbi talked about, I want to be comfortable in possession. I want to create. And then left our creative midfielder on the bench for 85 minutes. So I'm not sure. And he put in our least creative footballer in Bergvall in the team. So I'm kind of going, what? You weren't brave. You didn't do what you said all week you were going to do.
He's full of shit. He's full of shit, Lubo. He's on 60 million quid. He's got the best gig ever. He's going to come in, say what needs to be said. And do you know what? He'll figure it out in the summer when he actually knows what division we're going to be in. Right now, in his head, he knows we're done. I think he knows we're done. And you know what? He plays out from the back. The Zerbi ball's all about playing out from the back and keeping possession of the ball. His best playing defender is out for 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
Love him or hate him, out of all our back 4, Romero is the best at passing. He's out. Danzo's awful on the ball.
I'm going to disagree with you here. I'm going to disagree with you. He's the worst player for a team that want to play out from the back. And I'll tell you why. Because he holds on to the ball for so bloody long every time he gets it. Oh my God, it's painful.
Right.
I'm glad he's out. I'm glad he's out.
The thing is, for De Zerbi ball, you need players that are actually comfortable on the ball. Danzo on the ball he stinks. In the air, good. Tackling, strong. On the ball, when I watch him, I cringe that he's about to do something and just give it away. Look, I stick to what I said after the Forest game, and I really believe this is going to happen. I said, if West Ham beat Wolves and we drop into that bottom 8, we'll lose to Sunderland because we won't handle the pressure being in the bottom 3. And if come Monday we're bottom 3, we aren't getting out of it. And for me, we aren't getting out of this. I think the other teams are going to pull away enough so that even if we do win, it will be too late. And the day we get relegated officially is going to be at fucking Stamford Bridge. You know how this story ends.
No, I think we could be gone before then.
I
I'm
think
going to be honest. At the moment, I think we're going to be gone before Stamford Bridge
because of the FA Cup semi-final movement of days. We might be done before that. Because
No,
when they
I want to be wrong, Perchy. I want to be wrong, but the way I'm watching Spurs play at the moment and the awful decisions I'm seeing every manager make, right, and putting two 20-year-olds in a midfield in a relegation battle alongside another number 8 in Gallagher just baffles me. Like I'm baffled as to what he's doing.
But can
Baffled.
I just want to, I'll give Stell his plaudits because it's something he said a while back, and I don't like giving Stell a lot of plaudits, but I will for this one. Was do you know the one thing that the thing is you know that me and you spoke about it, the Forest game, the P word, right? Pressure matters. Now every game is a Nottingham Forest pressure game. Brighton pressure, because do you know why? Everyone around us is winning games of football and getting points. West Ham got a point. Forest got a point. West Ham got a win. Leeds have just got a win. Leeds, before we even kick off, Leeds play Wolves. They beat Wolves. They're done. They're safe. I would put them down as safe.
Perchy, they're all fighting. All these clubs are fighting.
That's my point.
We're not
But
fighting.
we haven't got players. We haven't got players that know this fight. Know how you've just got to be dogged.
But do you remember what they said to us? Richarlison's the perfect player for Tottenham because he knows what it means to battle a relegation. The geezer's crap. He's absolutely dog shit.
And Solanke's
going to be the saviour.
When's Solanke's back? One of the worst
Solanke.
strikers I've seen in a Spurs.
Solanke, man.
One of the worst signings I think we've ever made. Richarlison and Solanke. I think awful, both of them. Awful footballers.
How do we go from Kane and Son to Richie and... Mate, 120 million we've spent on these two. And do you know what? And I still get people telling me... I wish Sean was here tonight. I want to talk to him about Mateus Tell.
Oh, God, don't get me started.
He doesn't score. He doesn't create. He came on, nothing changed. Moani. Questions have got to be asked about Moani. My God, Moani. What did he do on the weekend? Another one that offers nothing.
But do you know the problem? Like, and the thing is I kind of try and look at this. I try and put Spurs to the side of this. As I say, I look at everyone else. As you say, everyone's fighting. Leeds battling at Old Trafford. Watched it just now. I look at West Ham battering Wolves. Oh, you look at Forest getting a good result against Aston Villa. And now you look at next weekend. Leeds play Wolves. Forest play West Ham.
No, Forest, West Ham.
Forest play Burnley. Forest play Burnley. West Ham play Palace. Sorry. And you look at that and go, shit, next weekend, if we don't get anything against Brighton, we could be in a position. We won't. But do you know what? The problem is, like, people keep telling me, right, we just need a draw for confidence. I hear this confidence all the time. This club need wins right now. We need to stop. What draws don't save us, wins will save us now. We're that much in the trenches. And this goes back to January, mate, because in January, I remember arguing with so many people saying, I don't care if we sign a striker, a left winger, a right winger, a 10. We need goals. We need players that can come to this club and score goals, because we don't have people that know where the back of the net is. And you know what? If you look at Leeds, West Ham, maybe Forest, and Palace. You look at the teams that we're up against. I think they've got better goal scoring options and attackers than Spurs.
Yeah.
I actually think that they've got better goal
Phil,
scoring
do you want to
options than
start?
us now.
Do you want to start? Right, here you go. Tell, Odeber, Richie, Mawani, Solanke. Those 5. How many Premier League appearances between them this season?
120 odd.
123. How many goals between the 5 of them? Premier League goals.
16.
16. 9 of them Richie. Let that sink
That's
in, right?
embarrassing.
They average a goal every 0.12.
Two. Mawani's
hang on.
1.
Yeah. Not every. They average a goal every 0.12. Right? No offense, but when you buy that set of attackers, still, what do we think is going to happen at this football club? Right?
I agree.
As I said
the
last
attackers,
summer,
I agree.
but as I said last summer, people going, don't worry, we can push the Sun replacement down the line. Can we? This is what happens when you push the replacement down the line. This is what happens.
Yeah,
you have a front 3 of Richie, Mawani, and Solanke. It is the worst I've ever seen. And bearing in mind, I've seen strike forces where I thought couldn't be worse. And this year has taken the biscuit.
You see, Sava, this is why in January I was saying, don't sell Brennan Johnson, we should start him playing up front. People were saying to me, you mad, you were cussing him all last season. And my argument was, I don't rate him as a player. But who's going to score the goals if he goes? Who else has proven they can score goals? We let him go, fair enough. To not replace his goals, it was absolutely mental, man. It was insane.
Can I just, I'll throw another stat.
And by the way, I don't rate Brennan Johnson, but as a goal scorer, if we play to his strengths, he'll score more than Richie and Solanke.
But here's one for you. How many goals have we scored in the Premier League this calendar year? Does anyone know?
This calendar year?
2026.
How many?
7?
No, sorry.
12.
Good guess.
12 in 14. We don't score goals anymore. We're less than a goal a game, by the way.
Because Perchi, for the first 3 months of Frank, we were depending on Van der Ven, Romero, and Paulinho. It was all the defenders that were scoring the goals.
Apart from, they were 3 of the 4 top goal scorers with Richie. How mad is that?
I'm worried to the point. I think as Sava made a point earlier. I think it's done. The shock would be if we do stay up at this point. I think that is the shock. Because everyone keeps telling me, we just need a win. Winning isn't something Tottenham do anymore. We don't win football matches. That's the problem.
Leeds United went to West Ham and knocked them out the FA Cup. They've just gone to Old Trafford and beaten Man United. These big games, they are showing they've got fight and that they can maybe do something. We haven't shown that. We haven't once shown. And Lubo, do you remember when we drew at Anfield?
We have a different 11 every week. We have a different experiment every single week. You watch Leeds, watch Forest, West Ham. It's the same team when they can.
Consistency. The thing is, when we drew with Liverpool, and listen, Chris, jump in because you haven't spoken yet. When we drew with Liverpool, I was one of the few that said we were shit. That was absolute rubbish. But Liverpool were just as bloody. Yeah, you were as well. I went on We Are Tottenham TV, and I said to the guys, I've got about 1,000 messages ripping me to pieces. It was that game was a one-off. We caught Liverpool on a bad day, and they've had a few this year, Liverpool. That was not a true reflection of what's happening at this club. But so many fans thought that was the turning point. And remember, we beat Atletico 3-2 at home. We're back. That lasted, 10 seconds? Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed at Tottenham. We're rubbish. We're absolutely crap.
When you look at the first... Sorry, go on, Chris. You jump in now.
No, it's all right. I was happy. I mean, there's not a lot I can add really to what Stel said. I don't think since New Year there is anything that I can put apart from maybe a spell at home to Man City that I can look at that would give me any cause for optimism. The worst bit about it is there's not even anything you can say like if this player turns up, or that maybe we might have a chance. So, you know, if Somerville plays well or Bowen turns up, West Ham have got a chance in a game. I don't even know what that is for Tottenham at the moment.
Yeah,
we've got one person who may create something who we don't even pick in Simmons, and even if he does create something, we haven't really got anyone who's going to put it away. So
I was just going to say just that you mentioned Man City, Chris. Thank God we didn't do what everyone wanted us to throw the Man City games this season to stop Arsenal winning the title. Because without those 4 points this season, we are relegated. By the way, like let's just remember all the people going, "Oh, I hope was it Tottenham? Was it Manchester Hotspur and all that crap?" Thank God we got 4 points against Man City this season because without them, we could be done.
The only way, I think,
Chris?
Sorry,
Lubo, just quickly. Can I back up Chris? I mean, that's the key thing, right? That Chris has just said. It isn't like we've got really good players that are just off form playing. Like, it isn't like you've got anyone prolific in the 11. It isn't like you've got a magician in the 11 who we need to find form desperately. It isn't like there's anyone coming back from injury anytime soon. Like you guys are all old enough to remember this. Remember the season when Teddy Sheringham was out injured for most of the season and he came back for the last few months of the season and sorted us out because Teddy's a goal scorer. We don't have any of that. So the problem that I have when people are calling people like me and sorry, Stel, I'm going to group you into this as always. When people are calling people like me and Stel negative, I'm asking, okay, what's changing in the next game? Because it's the same players. It's the same players that can't score. It's the same players that can't create. It's the same midfielders that can't pass. What are we expecting is going to be different? And that's the worry for me, Lubo. What is going to be different between Monday night and Saturday afternoon when we play Brighton? What's going to change?
What you're hoping for, Wolfie said on your show, didn't he, that teams down the bottom get a surprise result, it can kickstart a run.
Yes. Yeah.
Leeds haven't been playing well, but have been nicking draws. Leeds got that result today. That was everybody expected United to win. They got 3 points that when they were expected to get well beaten. United are on a fantastic run. All of a sudden, Leeds have gone to Old Trafford. They got 3 points. And they're looking pretty clear now, aren't they? You know, if you're a Leeds fan, you're thinking to yourself, do you know what? I'm sort of 90% certain now, barring a catastrophe. They've got the points. If we fall more than one match, if we fall more than 3 points off 17th place, I think we're done. I think while we're within 2 or 3 points, I think we can still get out of it. People turn around and say, Lubo, you're deluded. We haven't won since Palace. Probably am. Probably just hoping, just that something runs for us. We get a break. Referee makes a mistake, gives us a penalty. We get a penalty. VAR make a mistake as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a ricochet.
We need one to hit someone's arse and go in, right? We need a terrible scrappy win.
You just need that one break to get a result, and all of a sudden, if the players walk up into that dressing room having won a game, all of a sudden the pressure lifts off their shoulders, the monkey's off the back. Right, guys, let's go from here. And I think, we brought De Zerbi in for a reason. If De Zerbi can't change it, then you're looking at it thinking, well, what was the point to bring him in? May as well stuck with Tudor, may as well stuck with Frank. You go back.
Can I ask you a question, Lubo? Sorry, really quickly, Lubo, can I ask you a question? Right. When we were in decent form beginning of the season, when we were picking up points, Simmons was in the team, Bentancur was in the team, Paulinho's in the team, and Kudus is in the team. Those 4 played week in, week out, right?
Yeah.
It's no coincidence that right now, Paulinho's not getting played,
no.
Xavi Simmons isn't getting played,
no.
Bentancur's injured, and Kudus is injured, right? So what I don't understand is I get it. Bentancur, by the way, I don't think he's amazing, but he took a lot of shit at the beginning of this season, and we've not won a game since he's been out injured, right?
Yeah.
But why on earth are Paulinho and Xavi Simmons not playing? Why is the guy, Lubo, with the most tackles in the Premier League not playing in a relegation battle.
I got to tell you, I look back and I just look back at the season. I just go back to end of October when we won at Everton 3-0. We're third in the table, and I just cannot believe, seriously, having walked away from that game, we absorbed a lot of pressure. Nicky won a couple of headers from set plays, and we got a breakaway in the last minute. And I look at how it has just collapsed. It's just collapsed. And I heard your show today, Sav, and I know we've lost 50 out the last 98, I think, in the league.
Yes, 50 and 100.
Those first two, Sav, we actually won, didn't we? We beat Palace.
Yeah, I know, but the stat
we
is
beat Fulham. Out of 100,
sorry,
yes, correct.
Lost 50, drew 18, won 32 of the last 100 Premier League games.
The last 100 games, yeah. And I just look at how they have collapsed since the new year. Literally, we beat Palace, we drew with Brentford, drew with Sunderland, and then since then, it has just been horrendous. And you look at it, and listen, we haven't played consistently well in any stage, even when we were winning games. Right. You talk about the 4 players there. I agree with you on 3. Away from home, I thought the Bentancur Polinia double pivot away from home, I thought was superb. I thought Frank's set up absolutely spot on. At home, we were horrendous. That wasn't working at home. That was always my point regarding Bentancur. Whether you think it was,
isn't it funny? No other midfield combo that anyone has asked for has worked. Like, I keep hearing how good Gray's been. Gray, by the way, I keep hearing how good Gray's been or how good this player's been or that been. If you actually look at the data for when it's not been Bentancur and Paulinho, the win percentage with all the other midfielders compared to those two is shot to shit.
Absolutely. Listen, we've hardly won a game. We've won 2 out of 23 now. 2 out of 23. That's like,
we deserve to go down, right?
Do you know what? When we got relegated in 77, we won 12. What am I talking about? 12. We got 42 points. We won something like 13, 14 games. Was it 2? It was 2 points a game then, wasn't it? We lost 21. And I think we drew, God knows, 6 possibly. And we won 18, something like that, 21. We won more games than we can possibly win this season and get anywhere near. And we were winning games. This year, we're just not winning games. We won 7 all season. It's horrendous. And you look at it, and at the end of the season, I'm sure we'll all be looking back on our shows and dissecting the season and where it went wrong. And there are so many reasons why things have gone wrong this season. It's not just it's been horrendous. And you just got to ask what the players been doing. Seriously.
Wrong when in January we had a choice: back him or sack him, and we did nothing. That was the moment the season turned. Because if you can't make a decision to keep a manager and stick to the project and back him, fuck what the fans say, then get rid of him and bring in the new manager in January so you can buy him a couple of players that will work for him. We did nothing. The season went wrong when Enoch were allowed to be in charge of the club at the start. That's where it went wrong. And fans don't want to have the Enoch conversation because they're bored of it. But that is the problem. Listen, I've said to you guys all 1,000 times, I disagree with Sabra about the Frank and the Ange thing, but I totally agree with him. Back him or sack him, and we did nothing. And you know what? This is the price of that decision in January. This will go down as the most catastrophic January window in the history of Tottenham, because that window is going to relegate Tottenham. That is going to relegate the club.
Can I just share one thing with you guys that's tonight? So we were already narrow favourites to go down ahead of West Ham. But after that Leeds result tonight, we've now gone odds-on favourites, which means that's more than 50%, right? So some bookies have got us at 55% likely now to get relegated, which I actually think is generous.
That's very generous.
The worrying thing for me, though, is that, see, obviously being on YouTube every day, you see all these conversations about this, where it went wrong, but this has been this has been getting worse and worse for years on year. The losing didn't start this year. The losing has been happening for years, right? If you look at you know that famous Conte rant, right? That famous Antonio Conte rant was, if I'm not wrong, 2020. 2020
March 17th, 23.
Right. Since that day, right, we are 17th in terms. So that's 3 years and 1 month. Just under 3 years and 1 month, right? So we're 37 months. For 37 months, we have the 17th lowest points in the Premier League. Now, to put that in perspective, that's 17th out of all of the 17 teams that have been ever present for the last 3 years. That means for 37 months, we've been the worst team in the Premier League, points-wise, for 3 years, right? So when people go, this happened when this player was signed, or that manager was sacked, or this window. This has been an accumulation, guys, of lots of managers, lots of players, lots of lots of directors of football, right? But as fans, we can only seem to focus on the one thing we hate. So if people hated Frank, it's Frank. If they hate Ange, it was Ange. If they hate Tudor, it's Tudor or Levy. Or if you take away the names of the people, Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for 3 years has been the worst team in the Premier League, right? The worst team in the Premier League.
It's been a build-up, Sav. We weren't 17th. We've sort of gone from probably 6th or 7th.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. 17th in terms of, in that 3 year period, when you add all the points up for that 3 years, we are 17th in terms of points taken across 3 years, right? That means in that time, Everton, West Ham, Fulham,
Brighton,
Brentford, Bournemouth, they've all taken more points, right? So forget Ange, forget Frank, forget Stellini, forget Mason, forget Vinay, forget Paratici and Levy and Lang. When you put all of that together, if Spurs fans take a step back and stop the point scoring, and I said this and you said that, that is a shit show.
But we've now got to a position where the football club and players at this club now are so used to losing now that it has become, I don't want to use the word, but it's become like the disease of the club where they just expect to lose every week. And as Sava says, it's a good point. This isn't this season. It isn't this has been going on for 3.5 years where we've just been
worse. Perch, it's been getting worse, culminating in the last 14 games.
It's not the last 14 games, though, Lubo. 14. It's not the last 14 games.
It's been getting worse for 3 years.
Last season was dreadful.
We lost 22 games last season, and we're on course to lose 22 again this year. Like, this is why when I say there's so many people, like right now, I can read the chat, right? People going, I'm sticking up for Frank. I'm not sticking up for anybody. Listen to the words that I'm saying. Forget the individuals, the club. We have normalized losing as a football club. People are saying to me, you're not offering context. Sorry, context over 3 years. Context over 3 years. What context?
Couple of super chats, guys. Let me move on. 2 super chats. Gookology. Footy rules should be based on Lubo's manifesto. Chris, there you go. What more can I say?
I don't make them, mate. Nothing to do with me. I know people think I do, but...
And Rob Brown, member for 17 months. Thanks very much, Rob. If we do get relegated, what happens to all of you guys, other Spurs YouTubers and Spurs content going forward? There is never a shortage of content that comes out of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Us YouTubers will be fine. Don't worry. We'll probably be discussing.
Quite. Lubo can speak for himself because he don't have a channel, right? I can assure you, our content.
Channel, you're on it.
Sure, but I mean, if you don't think getting relegated is going to affect every single
Massively.
Spurs channel, you're very misguided. Because what will happen, Ludo, when we get relegated, if we get relegated for the first month, everyone will want to watch our content because we're funny. Everyone will want to mock us, Chelsea fans, Arsenal, West Ham. Next year, when we're playing Preston away, no one's going to give a shit about who Spurs are playing, what the score was. Honestly, it's going to not.
All
gonna
those
be good,
people
mate.
that go on Premier League panel shows will not be invited next season. So just remember that.
Perchy, we have been so poorly represented as a fan base that I'm actually glad that we're not going to have the same representation on some of these programs, mate. I mean that. There's such a lack of diversity of opinions from the fan base represented on the media platforms. It's just the same voice. We need a bit of. That's why I prefer these shows here. Just disagree with each other and say it as it is. I think it's so much because this is real fans. It's not. Oh, don't say this, don't say that, because this is how it should be. Because this is what it's like in the pub. When you go to the pub and have a few beers, this is what it's like, right?
Yeah, Rob, there you go. There's been a difference of opinion here. We shall see what happens next year. Trip to Wrexham. Who's going to watch? Who's going to watch the Friday night prediction shows and the watch-alongs? We're at Wrexham there today, or we're at Preston North End.
How do we watch the games? Just out of curiosity.
It's on Sky now. It'll be on. The one thing you Spurs. I was watching some guy said, Tottenham fans, be prepared for this. It was quite a good video. He said the one thing you'll get a lot of Don Goodman again. He's always doing championship stuff. Lubo will be happy. And he said because we're Tottenham, Sky will be picking us for every single game. And he said, you'll end up be playing on a Friday night. You'll end up be playing on a Saturday morning, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You'll be playing at random days. He said the one thing they don't on a Thursday, you don't play. Championship don't play a lot on a Thursday. So he said it's quite interesting. I had no idea. I was just trying to.
Even without the live games, Stel, there's the whole of the Football League do something called I Follow, and every single match you can go and subscribe to your team, and they show every single match of every single Football League team. So it's not hard to watch the games.
Can I ask a question? Is it true that there's no VAR in the Championship?
No,
correct.
Yeah,
that is true. Goal line.
So when we get a bad refereeing decision that isn't overturned, we've got to listen to Lubo tell us about the referee again. Is that what's going to happen next season, Lubo?
Well, Lubo doesn't want VAR, by the way, so he can't complain next season.
I don't want VAR. I don't want VAR.
But I don't want to hear any complaints next season from you. Any.
No, I've got to say it. In fairness to referees, most players make more mistakes during a game than the referee does. And for referees before VAR got 88% right. Now, for me, that's pretty good. If every player got 88% right, there'd probably be many 0-0 draws, and there wouldn't be many goals and many mistakes. But what they've done, they've taken it from 88% to 96%. But what they've done is they've killed the game. They've killed the emotion. They've just taken everything out of it. They've got fans sitting there waiting 4 or 5 minutes for a decision. You can't go up and celebrate a goal, and that's one of the biggest buzzes of a football match is celebrating a goal. So for me,
you're now part of Stelegation then for exactly that reason.
I'm not Stelegation. But if we do go down, you've got to look for positive. And moving on, last one, Finn McMullen. Finn McMullen, thank you very much. Finn, Stelegation, ole, Stelegation squad. That's what Finn's calling us now. There you go. Still.
Big up, Finn.
Lubo, can you just share my screen when you've done that?
Can I watch?
Or is that like
ole.
How am I sharing your screen?
It should be at the bottom, Lubo.
It's at the bottom where there's a picture of a.
It's everyone's faces. There we go.
Right.
2 minutes.
That.
Yes.
There you go. That 98 games is since the 11th game of Ange's reign.
Wow, that's damaging, actually.
So that's since I think November the 2nd or whatever it was.
Yeah, the Chelsea game.
2024.
Is it the Chelsea game, right?
Yeah, 6th of November. 6th of November.
6th of November 2023, right?
Yeah, correct.
Right, there you go. Look at that. So only Wolves since the 11th game of that season. So we're over 2.5 seasons. Only Wolves have got less points than Tottenham. Look at that.
And what's even more damaging, only West Ham and Wolves have conceded more goals than us.
Right.
Wow.
But Van de Ven and Romero. But Van de Ven and Romero.
They will go down to the worst defenders this football club have ever had. Romero will be considered one of the worst captains who relegated this football club.
Can I also say that Saliba and Gabriel are going to go down as the best world-class defenders to win nothing?
Sorry, but by the way, Stel, can I just say, people in the chat going,
I'm just having fun.
Why pick Ange's 11th game? You do realise I don't compile those tables, right? You do realise I have not. I also gave everyone the stats from Conte's rant, where we're even worse than that. We're 17th. So I feel like everyone needs to. I don't create them. Just saying.
No. One more.
Super chat.
ENJD031. He can't wait for relegation. Bring it on. There you go. He's obviously not a fan of VAR either. Thanks for the super chat, Ian.
Can we just end on one little bit of kind of humour, if we can find humour in these dark days? I just want to get everyone's opinion on this, because it is quite unbelievable, right? So it's not Tottenham related, but it's football related. Arsenal spectacularly lost 2-1 at home. No. I'll tell you why I'm discussing it, right? Now, this was quite a surprise result, because this was the season that no one thought they'd bottle it, but they're bottling it, and the Man City fans, it's all over the internet. He's having an absolute laugh. He needs to be careful because they haven't won it either. But then Man City absolutely clobbered Chelsea, and they didn't just beat them. The performance was top notch. And the question I want to ask you guys is this. Every year when Pep goes for a blip, everyone dismisses him and writes him off and says, he's done. He's won the Carabao Cup. He's probably going to win the FA Cup. If he wins the league, in a season everyone's laughed at him, he's going to pull a domestic treble out of his backside. And Arsenal are going to, and Arsenal will go down as the biggest bottle jobs. They're already, but the biggest bottle jobs in mankind. Guys, do you think City might actually win the Premier League, or do you think Arsenal will just get over the line when it comes to the end? Because Pep's team, they've found good form, haven't they, in the last 3-4 weeks?
I think if they beat them next weekend, Man City win the title, because they have the game in hand, and then they will. Do you know what it is? Everyone does this every year. By the way, every year I hear it. Man City are going to throw it. Pep's not got it, and every time around February, March, turn on the gears. And imagine if they, out of nowhere, pull out a domestic treble in a season where everyone's telling me that the manager doesn't want to be there. He's going to leave at the end of the season. Look, I think Arsenal is still favoured statistically by points, but momentum is on with Man City for the title. The momentum is all with Man City. And it goes back down to the P word. I use it all the time. Pressure. When it matters, the games are much harder to win with games like that. And Man City deal with pressure because they've got the man that does it every season. Arsenal at the moment don't. So if you're I think it all comes down to Man City have to beat it next weekend.
For sure. That's right. And do you know what? Their two wingers are absolutely on fire at the moment, aren't they? Doku and Semenya, absolutely on fire. I mean, they're making life easier. Haaland's a superb striker, but look at the service he's getting from those two.
O'Reilly and Guay have been brilliant for Man City as well. Those two.
O'Reilly and Cherky. I remember Spurs fans saying they
Cherky.
don't want Ryan Cherky because he's got an attitude. Like we didn't want Lookman, we didn't want Ryan Cherky because he's got an attitude. He is class.
But O'Reilly is the young. O'Reilly is the youngster that we think all of our kids are. By the way,
yes, O'Reilly is what these lot say. He is. Gray are. Yes, absolutely.
Honestly, when I watch him play, I go, "You're special." And do you notice? Notice Pep just bleeds him in slowly, and then he goes and does what he does in the Carabao Cup final, and what he did against on the weekend with Chelsea on the weekend. Good,
Perchy.
Young player.
Do you remember when we signed Sousa and our fan base said, "Oh, have you seen him on YouTube? Oh, he's really good." Yeah. Go watch O'Reilly and tell me what's.
He's a top.
Can I ask you a question? I've got to go, but just before I do, can I ask a question? If the option was this, right? Sorry, I hate these questions, but I'm going to do it. If the option was City win the league, so Arsenal don't, but Spurs go down, or Arsenal win the league, but Spurs stay up in 17th, which one are you taking?
It's easy for me. I don't massively give a shit about what Arsenal do, really.
Yeah, I agree. I
would rather stay in the Premier League than not stay in it. So I'm going for that one.
I saw
down, by the way.
I saw a poll today, Perchy, and the number of fans that picked that they would prefer Man City to beat Arsenal to the title rather than Spurs stay up was frightening. Still's in that camp, isn't he? Look.
I want Stelligation at all costs, even if it means I lose my house.
I've just seen a great comment in the chat, buddy. I'm asking Danny Rose to Google where some of the away stadiums are next season. That's a great comment from Steve D. That's brilliant.
I said it. We're going to be the first game next season, Friday night, the first championship game away at Sincil Bank. There you go. That's Lincoln. For anyone who hasn't watched any football outside the Premier League, that's Lincoln City.
I'll give you one quick other little bit of
Still, I've got to go.
Saga, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Lubo, I'll see you tomorrow night at Leyton Orient.
No VAR tomorrow night.
No VAR. No VAR. Lubo and I are scouting some 18-year-olds that he'll want in the Spurs first team next season. Don't worry about that.
Well, I've got to tell you, George Abbott and Oliver Iro are playing for Mansfield tomorrow. So there you go.
Well, next season they're playing for Spurs. See you later. Thanks for all your kind comments in the chat. It's been lovely. See you later.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just thought this was an interesting stat. If City win every single game for the rest of the season, presumably they'll win the league then, they would have one less point than we had when we finished second to Chelsea.
Correct. That's right.
That was interesting.
That's right. 85. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, I was I'll tell you what made me laugh today. I was watching one of these panel shows with different football fans from different clubs, and this Arsenal fan was getting absolutely grilled, and he was falling apart on the show. And someone in the comments put, you know that song North London Forever that they've come up with. He's put big bold comments. He's put North London could never.
Yeah. Listen, they are a Woolwich franchise. Whatever people
North
say.
London could never.
Right. Still, one more super chat. Michael, thank you very much. Will De Zerbi set up with Xavi in the 10 next game? You would think so. You would hope so.
Got to, really. He's got to.
He has to. There's
You gone? Sorry, gone.
No, I was just going to say no. I was just going to say he has to. There's no.
Does he?
If he doesn't,
does he? How many times have we say Tudor's got to do this, Frank's got to do that, and just
look, I'll be honest. As I said, next weekend if we don't win, I'm kind of checked out, and I think it's done and dusted. But yeah.
Listen, if we lose on Saturday, Forest win, West Ham win, I think it's done then because we'll be 5 points behind West Ham, and that's 2 games with 5 to go.
We said we had to beat Fulham, we had to beat Palace. It was done then. It was done.
Had to beat Forest.
I heard.
We're
I've
still,
heard
we-
we're still only 2 points off West Ham.
We are not getting out of the bottom three. I don't know who said it tonight. Someone said every game now is like the Nottingham Forest game. I can't remember who said that.
Yeah, I said that earlier. Yeah, every game is
Perchy,
about.
Mate, you nailed it. You nailed it. Because every game is the Nottingham Forest game now, that's us. We're done.
Are we having a parade on Saturday? Does anyone
not.
I've heard it's been cancelled. Don't ask.
Yeah, no, it's been cancelled. It's been cancelled. They've announced it. Apparently, the players are coming by car now, so they can't do the group parade.
Oh, but one thing on that, Stel. Well, I found it interesting that Spurs released absolutely no footage from inside that coach whatsoever. So how do we even know the players were on it?
Get that tin hat back on. Get that tin hat back on.
I raised the issue, and I got called cynical and conspiratory and down the rabbit hole and all that. And do you know what the funny thing was for me? You know when players arrive by coach, the Sky Sports camera, you see the players come off the bus and they've got their headphones on, they've got their bags, and they showed the Nottingham Forest team, but not the Spurs players.
Johnny did say that he's seen a video, didn't he, from inside the Spurs coach?
Yeah. Why is it? Where's that video?
That's the Spurs media team. That's the head of our media department. I'll tell you what's interesting. I've seen that video. When you see the video, you can't hear anyone inside the bus. Not a single person inside the bus. I don't know. It's all conspiracy.
But I said it to you, didn't I? These players love to post stuff on social media. Normally, they'll have a little video whilst they're in there. No,
Exactly.
I'm not saying anything. There's a little bit sus to me.
We'll never know. We will never know.
I will say it. 20,000 fans turned up to cheer on a bus driver, and that bus driver didn't know what hit him. But anyway, Chris, thanks for coming on tonight, mate. Appreciate it.
I've got one last thing for Lubo just before we go, which is that.
I think we should set up. We should all put a GoFundMe to make Lubo read the rule book, and then we can then he can come back in the summer with fully aware of the rule book.
To be honest, I don't blame Lubo. I don't blame any fans. You know, when I refereed, I never even blame the players for not knowing the laws because it's not actually their job. Their job is to win the game. It should help you if you know the laws, but I always used to defend them when referees would say to me, like, it's so annoying the players don't know. I'm like, yeah, but that's your job. It's not their job.
Can I ask you a question, right? Because this actually this happened, and we had a massive argument. And anyway, I went to the laws of the game. I don't know if they've changed, but is this true? If you take a goal kick and the ball goes out of the penalty box, but the wind blows it back and it goes in the goal, because it's gone out of the penalty box, but no one's touched it, it's not a goal. Is that true?
So it is. However, the penalty box was only relevant back in the old days when the ball wasn't in play until it left the penalty area. But now that's not true.
Yeah.
So, but you can't score a goal directly from an own goal directly from your own free kick. So that would be a corner. Even now, if we take a goal kick and you just turn around and boot it in your own net. However, Stel, and you might have this might vibe with you a little bit. That's what the laws of the game say. At the lower level of football and kids football, where the referees are not necessarily as on top of the law as at the top game, that doesn't mean that that's what the referee is going to give necessarily. So, you know, referees at low levels also don't always know the laws as well as they should.
Well, half the referees are dads because the referees don't turn up. They don't want to do it because they don't get paid enough, or they don't want the abuse. So normally it's some random bloke.
I don't want to drag it out. This is another chat, but I always used to feel sorry. You've done a lot of your football. I always used to feel sorry for the lads who just started at 14, going along to do their first game. Like, there has to be a safe space for referees to make mistakes and learn as well. But even your 14-year-old, people expect him to be Howard Webb or Michael Oliver. It's nuts.
Mate, I always used to say to young referees, whatever age, even up to 18, I always used to say to them, if you get any gyp today, come to me. It's my home pitch. I will speak to the adults for you. Don't be scared to reach out for support, because the abuse they get from some adults is absolutely crazy. That's why there's a massive shortage of referees in the youth game, because they don't want the abuse. I get it. But anyway, we need to do a show on this. We should do a show. We'll get Lubo as the main guest. We'll call it Laws of the Game.
We should arrange an 11-a-side Spurs YouTube football charity match, and Lubo referees it. That would be full circle. I'd be all for that.
Mate, we'd all get red cards for pushing people.
Yeah.
Virtually, I did referee a game once. I did step in when the referee didn't turn up. So there you go. I have done it.
If we do you reckon if we streamed it live, we'd get a massive audience to watch us?
Probably.
Would you know?
I bet you could actually. If you streamed it, it would be good.
There should be YouTube matches against the YouTubers from other clubs. That would be brilliant.
They did that, didn't?
I think most YouTubers would be worried about it, because I reckon most of us are just crap at playing.
But then they did it. Don't you remember it? They did it back in the day, didn't they? With the AFTV and all that lot, and a United Stand. They set up that thing years and years. That was when it all kicked off on there. I remember.
It got a bit too serious, though. It got a bit too serious.
Little bit, didn't it? Little bit.
Perchy, thanks for coming on as well, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers for having me.
Also, thank you to Sava, and thank you to Ferg. Make sure you follow everyone's channels. Football Heritage TV. Has Ferg got a channel? Or is he just big on Twitter?
Ferg is on. Ferg's with Jacko and Christian on Tottenham Touchline.
Oh yeah, that's it. Really good channel, by the way. Check that one out. Tottenham Touchline. Perchy, he's normally with Sava, doing something on Sava's channel. And well, if you've got something else you've got going.
No, I'm retired from the YouTube game.
There you go.
Don't blame you. And then obviously, Chris, do you just bounce around, or have you got anything going on as well?
Yeah, no, just on Twitter, mate. I just go on when people want to, I don't know, moan about the ref, I suppose. But yeah, that's it.
You're like the Dermot Gallagher of the YouTube world, aren't you?
But with a little more hair, hopefully. But yeah.
Sorry, it's not Sky Sports though. But there you go.
Yeah, this doesn't pay as well as Dermot Gallagher gets paid.
Anyway, thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks to everybody who listens and has commented, and for all the super chats. And we look forward to seeing you on Thursday.
Yeah, so back on Thursday. We should have the full team back. Is Johnny back by then, or is he back next week?
No, Johnny's flying back in Friday.
Mate, when Johnny left us, we were like 6 points clear of relegation. He's going to come back to England and go.
What's going on?
Comes back and we're in League One.
He might bring us up. You never know.
People, thanks for watching. Smash like, notification bell, all the good stuff. Subscribe, and we will see you next time. Until the next one. See you later.
Ciao.
See you.